And Neil, about to cover some tickers you guys have been mentioning. Sharif at the green screen. It's been a blast. I'll see you guys around. Take care. Have a good one. Happy trading.
Thank you very much, Obi. Welcome, guys, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. As Obi mentioned, Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to look at the names as decided by you guys. So make sure you're joining Adira and I, or Obi and I, during the midday and getting into the chat and voting for the tickers that you want talked about here. Yeah, this is the NQ, and you can see we zigged, we zagged. Lots of movement in the pre-market, moving up ahead of Jackson Hole's or Jerome Powell's speech during Jackson Hole, or his statement. When he came on, we moved back down, we moved back up. Right now, we are about 0.75 or about 0.4% in the green on the Dow, the Russell, or excuse me, the NASDAQ and the ES. The Russell, though, absolutely outperforming here to the high side, over 3% as we watch that trade continue to happen, that rotation trade that started about a month ago, guys. So the first name, as decided by you guys, NVIDIA, another volatile day for NVIDIA, off the lows, as you can see there. Wedbush did talk about this one, maintaining their outperform rating and increasing the price target to $138. That's up from 120. Still, though, bit of a tougher day for these Mag 7s, guys.
They're going on. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Time to get some trades on, try to do a couple different moves here, try to do some dances, trying to figure this market out as we're still up 1%.
Cats or dogs? Apparently we're trying to figure out.
Dog, but I mean, I have both. What's up to William?
I have neither, but I prefer dogs.
What are we talking about? NVIDIA? Yeah, dogs. Yeah, I mean, I think dogs are. We took our dog out for a walk yesterday. It was beautiful. All right. Although our cat likes to go around the backyard and just hang out. You know,
cats are all about hanging out, which is kind of cool,
he's
too.
Not one of those cats. I can take off the hat. All right. So NVIDIA today, pretty patient day. We lost on it early. That was fine. We left it alone, but guess what happened? We talked about this on the midday show as well. Look at looky, what we got right here. Came right back into support, and we're still long. So we made it, I mean, we didn't make it all back. We're still in a position. But as this continues to go back up to the upside, we are bumping our head again in this impossible support. So took it out, took it again. Upside move into 128.50, now $1.70 in the money on this trade as we continue to go. The better trade, we were dancing around with SOXL. We just took that long as well. I mean, this was a pretty good break of VWAP, break of that level, break of VWAP, go long on SOXL. And that our best out on this one was all the way up in here into 33. So just a couple pushes here on SOXL. So I still remain pretty bullish on the semi space. I mean, if you're going to look back and see what's strong today versus what's weak, the NASDAQ right now up 0.8, NVIDIA up 4%. So, I mean, I feel like we're doing the right thing here. We are also short the TQQs. We'll get to that maybe when we talk about the SPY. But yeah, NVIDIA today, pretty good name overall. Could always have done better, though.
I only traded NVIDIA twice today, which is, it's a little different, but it is what it is. And look, I was on AMD this morning. We talked about that for the midday show, or at least the lesson of the day. And I'll maybe start there because you just went over NVIDIA and miners are pretty simple. Look, I liked AMD to the south side. And the reason why it was the lesson of the day was just a simple fact. And not just this, I mean, even Tesla as well. Like, it's one thing and it's all well and good to say, hey, I want to short some pops going into Powell's speech, or even coming out of it. I'm favoring the pop and fade in the morning trade. But it just, no patience when it got to the 154 level instead of waiting for 155. And there was one little dip here when it got to 155 into VWAP. Then it broke out, massive reversal, in which I'm like, okay, if it's a head and shoulders here and that's the rejection, let me just get short tight to the 155 in case it flushes. But when the same thing happened again on the other side of it, which is here, I didn't get in till it consolidated. So I did at least attempt to short in here. Didn't end up working out on AMD. At some point, I'll talk about Intel, but I'm not in it right now, so no point. And then when NVIDIA, it was pretty simple. I was looking for this. Like 127 was trying to break down. So it broke. I added on the way down. But the best way to think about it is it comes into this support level. I'm like, okay, if buyers step in here, cover. And then let's just see what it looks like. And then after it made this low, like this one was like, okay, it's pretty strong. Let's get some out. And it got to here. I'm like, okay, let's just stop it out at that local high at a break even for the last little bit, because it was just it was clear to see it was a fail break at that point. So it came to the upside. I flipped into the long when it broke out this level at 128. and holding into VWAP here. Trying to add to it in front of VWAP. But if we get to 130 today, I'll be impressed, obviously, because this market is nuts. If we can get back into 130 on NVIDIA specifically. Also, if the market can even break and get to some of those highs, I'd also be incredibly impressed with it. But NVIDIA is above VWAP and up 4%. So not really thinking short on this name.
You're up 4 1/3, well above the market and well above the other Mag 7 names. Good look today for Tesla. It's a little bit off the highs. There was this headline, obviously not market moving, but I want to tell you guys about this because this is a big moat for them. They're actually recruiting employees now to walk with these bots and collect data for 7 times a week, minimum of 3 times the minimum wage of California. Obviously, again, not market moving, but nice to see that they're advancing with the humanoid robot.
I've traded Tesla today.
The humanoid.
Yeah, the humanoid. I don't even know where the sticky note is. Did I throw that around today? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yeah. We have Tesla right here, shorting in and around 218. Let's go over to Tesla and have a quick look. Well, that 218 didn't even come close. There's the short rate here, as we didn't start shorting 218 until it was underneath VWAP. So the day started with a bang, right? We were just waiting. We actually went over to NVIDIA. It doesn't break 218 until we get 10 o'clock. So until we see Powell's remarks, that's when it actually goes up. And then it comes right back into, pretty good, right into 218 again, right here. And that was a break down again, break up, break down. And so I was like, you know what, we'll go short here. But Tesla goes, no, not a short this time. So we actually wind up losing. If you see here, some of these are okay. VWAP down, like these are, right? There's not a loser here until we eventually start to break through 218 again. So I feel pretty confident about what we were doing and our level. We just shorted 218. It's going to wind up being a red name for me today. But again, I feel like it was a good level. This was the break rate here that happened at 10 o'clock. So if we were on that break, it was 217.25. Here's 218, had a little bit of resistance, then pop. So I was only looking at it in and around that area. 220, good level maybe for some support. Some resistance. That's exactly where we're bouncing right now. So maybe 220 off to something there. I thought I'd look over and see you maybe even in it. But,
well,
I don't know if we want to go short right now, but
that's sort of the thing. It's at the level I like this morning. And look, ultimately, if you picked a spot, like I like this level to short the pops, a lot of things sort of broke through them. So this was a morning where it wasn't necessarily about getting the level right that the stock was going to turn. It was more about finding the spot at which the momentum was gone. If you're trying to short pops today, it was about finding when the momentum came out and then catching the other side of it, as opposed to picking a level and saying this is going to be the place that it stops. That's why I mentioned some trend lines in the lesson of the day this afternoon or at lunchtime. And that was the only time it was a good short. Like that, the first short, this was a good one initially, but I didn't cover it all. And then we end up a couple of stop outs in here. And then we wait for a trend break. Miss this one. But when this trend break happens, we work into the short. Never goes more than, it was basically a $1.50 to $2 range in here. That was the best you could capture. Try to reload one last time into VWAP. Stopped out. Didn't re-enter, and thankfully so. Look at the wick bottom, and then this goes running in to this short level, which I did have just before we came back on air. So Tesla will be red for me, mostly because of the morning. And like I said, sometimes it's not about trying to pick the exact top or the exact bottom, but just getting into the move in the direction you want when the momentum dictates that you should be making that trade. So that's what it's all about here. And these lessons and the opportunity to trade them brought to you by good friends Moo, where if you're looking to maximize your idle cash, hey, maybe you went short at the top, long at the bottom today, and got some ducats to throw around. For Canadian users, enjoy 6% per year on cash balances up to $10K for 60 days, along with a 2-month commissions free. You can also earn up to $2,300 in cash rewards when you transfer your portfolio. Both rewards can be enjoyed at the same time. With Moo, you'll gain access to comprehensive data on stocks, options, and ETFs. Plus, take advantage of algo trading, allowing you to create, backtest, and execute your own strategies. Set up instant alerts to trade on your own signals, helping you to take your trading game to the next level. Thanks to Moo for sponsoring this portion of the show. Boom.
All sorts of Fed speak today. Obviously, Jerome Powell with his prepared statement at Jackson Hole. Fed's Goolsbee was on 3 times today during the regular trading hours, and there was all sorts of stuff said. Just to summarize everything for you, Fed Powell believes it are coming in to their goal of 2%. And he's confident that inflation now has we're not really looking more for upside pressure, now more looking for the downside pressure. He doesn't feel that way, though, about the employment economy. He feels, unemployment coming in a little bit too high, and it's concerning him a little bit. So some bit of a mixed bag in terms of comments, some dovish, some hawkish. The SPY, though, guys, close to the highs.
Obi waiting over here, waiting to get on camera more. Yeah, this guy's too much. He could have gone by at any time. Okay,
Real subtle.
Look, I come back in a good mood, but honestly, I got filled. I put my stop in there. We went for a walk. It was pretty simple. Came up. We got stopped out right here on the T. All these short. Look at it. I mean, we had this short, bang, like this short right here. 71. First of all, you guys all saw me trade this. We had some good moves back in at the end of the day. It was this one. We said, it's right here. Don't do anything until Powell. Well, here's me shorting as Powell's talking. And then boom comes out. I mean, just absolutely monster moves, right? This is $72 short. That's $69 out. So, I mean, that's the top and the bottom of the whole move. So we thought the same thing coming into here, up to $70.80. I feel like at this time there was a VWAP, or it must have been a 50 period or something on a longer time frame. Well, we put the stop in there. We got stopped out. As soon as we got stopped out, almost that minute or that second, it turned around and dropped all the way again, another $2. So that's disturbing. We shorted again. Bang, right here. Let's go right now. So here comes the market back in right now. So we'll just take these fills. We just reloaded this thing again. So we're at VWAP. We're taking this short. RFK right now going to speak. We do, just in my ear, we do see that 63,000 for Bitcoin starting to go as well. But we just got back into this market. I know it's up. We're at VWAP. I just kind of feel a short brewing again. I don't know. Maybe that's just what I had for lunch, but we're going to find out what's happening now in this market very, very soon. Yeah, the salad was actually pretty good, and I didn't have any of the pasta. It seemed like it was okay, the pasta there, but I don't know. You might have jinxed the salad, man. You were like, oh, man, I can't believe how good these salads are. And then since then, I feel like it's gone to the downside. But the TQQs right here, $70.30. What area code is 365? You can see phoning me right now.
Oh, you know what that is?
Anyways.
365.
It's not here.
You guys probably know this.
What?
The chat. Someone in the chat's going to know what a 365 area code is.
Of course. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Someone's probably from a 365 area code. No, I'm not.
There's something called
cheating.
Google,
if we Google it, then we're cheating. Remain.
Let's just go over here quickly. DJT right now. Trump.
Ramin just call all of you guys cheaters, but DJT is moving.
I thought she was specifically calling you it, but maybe it was what she was calling all of us it. But there goes DJT. Nice move right back there up to the upside. So again, we do have RFK right now speaking apparently. So we'll see if that moves. Apparently he's going to be endorsing Donald J. Trump. So we'll see if there's any sort of an effect on that one.
Niagara.
You're into Lucid, aren't you, for some reason?
Why are you? This is the third time you've asked about Lucid.
Lucid Dreams.
Are we supposed to be buying them over? Because you keep saying Rivian, Randy.
What the hell? Lucid's up 10%? What is Randy even talking about these days? Randy talked about this earlier. Randy, what the hell?
Are we taking a 440 break?
Stop worrying about brisket and give us these trades a little bit earlier, man. This was
Lucid 440 break.
You did mention.
Yeah, but you kind of just said Lucid it was more of a questioning tone. You weren't really like, yo, buy
Randy,
Lucid
you're in the
right
wrong
now.
business, man. You should be a trader. 10%.
Man. He basically just kind of was like,
Randy,
what is Lucid
Lucids
up
out
to?
here.
He didn't give us like go buy Lucid right now vibes. Also, one quick thing on the futures here: Lucid 440 actually does look like something. So we're not just waxing poetic about it. Apple's at VWAP. I'm short at VWAP. 50 is the out. If it breaks out at 50, I'm just going to jump out of this trade. We had been scalping it in this range, but the market's starting to head back into the upside. And I'm looking at so Softy's not at VWAP. This was my bad stop out of the day. In my defense, I wanted to go check out what lunch was, so I didn't get back in. Yeah, that kind of stunk, but I wasn't at my desk. either when it happened or when I would have had a reasonable opportunity to get back in. But so Apple could break out, but Microsoft is still under VWAP. So if you're looking at the constituents, what's strong and what's weak, Softy's red on the day and underneath VWAP and still trending down. So even if Apple comes out, I might get an opportunity, like the 416 level here on Microsoft does look still pretty juicy. This is right around where it closed. So I think the resistance makes a lot of sense here on Microsoft. So I'll be looking at that. And just to quickly go over it again, Lucid up 10%, triple top, and this is $4 and maybe 38 cents or 37 cents. If 440 goes, Lucid's got a decent short flow. This could be a squeeze play as well. And you know what? Just because we said Lucid, Rivian, it's only up 8.5%, but it's been barcoding off this 14 level, trying to break 14. It's possible we could have some EV names go squeezing this afternoon. As we go back to the green screen for some Peloton.
All right, Peloton earnings report yesterday did very well, beating expectations on the top and bottom line. Multiple different analysts chiming in today. I did my darndest to find an outperform, a buy, something like that. Not available quite yet, but you do have some price target raises, $3.50 by Morgan Stanley. Roth MKM, a little ambitious with 6. Telsey Advisory Group with 5. Multiple different analyst upgrades or price target increases, guys. But this one's up nicely, 4 3/4.
Yeah, the theme was, you know what today, what should have been the plan, but everything's gonna be hindsight 2020. Your optimal plan today was, if you wanted to fade, wait till after Powell, but then just go into the earnings continuation plays and go into the earnings breakouts, right? So if you looked at CAVA today, that was a clean breakout and continuation. If you looked at Zoom today, Zoom was an earnings beat and a continuation. And then if you looked at Peloton, it was simply a continuation play from yesterday's move. Now, it did you dirty if you were long in the pre-market. You can't pretend that that's true, but sometimes the moves get better, or the moves up are better when you do rinse like this. It tried to break the previous close, failed it right at the open, rinsed everybody out at the 420 level. You can't make this stuff up. 420 always seems to be some kind of a level on these stocks. So rinses everyone through 420, and then that's exactly where the turn ended up being. And now you're headed for $5. So this is a squeeze play with little to nothing above $5 till you get to 6. There's a decent chance Peloton wants this today. And I'm talking about the $6 level, but it has to break 5 first, obviously. So great day to have been long. CAVA, Peloton, as I said, Zoom was pretty good there. Those earnings plays could not be beaten in terms of upside. Like the market stalled out and the big earnings names all kept going, or the continuation. So good for SOXL. It's a weird one because when the market was tanking, things like Rivian and Lucid and Peloton were the ones that were going up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we sometimes talk about that as you get some of the laggards will start to outperform first as the market tries to battle back from a bad day. So yesterday was a bad day, obviously, and the market's trying to battle back. And it is, for sure. Okay. Something about Apple. It's never a good sign whenever I hear a story about Apple. We got to go figure out what exactly it is. But there's the NASDAQ, just pulled back a little bit. We get some out at the 50 period, $70.06 or whatever that is right there. I think we got 08s. We'll see if it pulls back even more right now on the TQQs. Let's just double check on whatever that was. I just heard something about Apple. We'll just see. Okay, not really doing anything. So I don't think there's. Oh, there's Apple set to unveil. Oh, we knew this. Yeah. New. I love how Sharif loves that, his Apple products. Nothing. New iPhones, AirPods, and watches. So we got the date, September. It's September 10th, Sharif. That's basically the September 10th. They're going to be releasing iPhones, AirPods, and watches. So a whole new suite, apparently, for us Apple people to spend all of our hard-earned money on. But here we go. Let's watch out for this. Just quickly, we are $2 in the money. We are $2 in the money on NVIDIA right now. And I just want to say that I think I was just going to try to respect, we talked about the 50-period moving average. So 128.30 is our current stop on NVIDIA. So hopefully bang on that one. As we'll continue to watch SOXL, that's trying to go higher as well. We're long here on SOXL. And then we have the NASDAQ short. So far, so kind of good, I guess. Over to Sharif again.
All right, last name on the rundown here, Super Microcomputer, green on the day, but off the highs. There's no specific catalyst for this one, but there was this headline about the Chinese company circumventing the Biden administration embargo on the use of advanced chips, specifically AI-specific chips. They've been able to use the services of AWS as well as some other services as well. So keep your eye out on this. Super Microcomputer up a little bit, but no real headline.
I feel like I said that I can't really say anything I didn't say yesterday about Supermicro, and 2 days ago about Supermicro, and then 3 days ago about Supermicro. Like, wake me up when it breaks out of this range. And then I also said probably might not probably. I said might not happen until NVIDIA reports. There's Randy, camera surf.
Randy, I'm excited for the pulled pork and the pork shoulder. I'm just waiting for the invite. We're really super busy this weekend, though, Randy. So
when are we all going up to your man cave and then just eating mad barbecue?
Is it
going on a fishing trip
to do something? Like one day you just bring in like a crap ton of ribs or wings.
I'm talking about free. You talking about pay?
Yeah, I'm talking about pay. I'm talking like we each drop in like $30, and Randy just crushes it.
He's nice like that. I mean,
I think that'd be fun on the show. We have like a little taste of Randy barbecue. I'll bring something. I'll figure it out.
Ramin wants shrimp as well.
You do shrimp, Randy, or
that look? What does that look tell you?
Randy not feeling the seafood as much. That's a no.
I
love seafood too.
I
mean, we had shrimp on the Barbie last night.
Trust me. But shrimp is like
a lime Thai.
You want you want the scallops, you want the prawns. Shrimp is that's some minor league stuff, man.
King prawn over here.
Level up a little bit.
What about some lobster tail? Just get the nice little lobster tail on the barbecue. I mean, not much beats that, my guy.
King crab,
bacon wrapped scallops we can be throwing down. I mean, I still think we should do Wingstop even right now, to be honest with you, now that we're talking about that. Or let's just, are we done?
Oh, I'll just show the chart. Okay, no, here. Chart of SMCI, 600 bottom, 640 top. Doesn't seem to want to break it until NVIDIA reports its earnings. So until that happens, not much going on. The consolidation in SMCI, short the top, long the bottom. It's been working for you if you have been doing it. Goolsby's talking. Good. I thought I heard that the RFK thing was at 230. I don't know if that's true.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, if that's true, I thought I heard 230 for RFK, so it might be worth watching if DJT does anything in that moment. So that'd be 8 minutes from now. Like, it already went, and now it's consolidating higher. Oh, the other thing about, I don't think we said this today. DJT, the lockup expires on the 25th, but there's this funky provision on it where if it's like if starting on the 1st, if it's above $12 for 20 straight trading days, then the lockup could expire on the 20th. And Trump owns like 59% of the shares, so if he were to dump them, the stock is going to absolutely dump. It's worth knowing what those days are. So it's either the 20th or the 25th. It's going to stay over $12, so it's going to be
September.
It's going to be the 20th of September when this lockup expires. And like I said, he owns 59%, so if he decides to sell, it's game over.
All right, one more. Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? It's like the share structure there. As long as everybody understands what they're getting involved with, I think it's probably fine. But it's a shot in the dark at some point right there. And I actually, by the way, the TQs, as we were going, we got... I mean, there it is, man. We just took some out again as it comes back in. So that was a decent move. I mean, we're just trying to play this range. I mean, if this breaks and Goolsby just keeps on talking something, then boom to the downside. Goolsby was already on CNBC and all this kind of stuff earlier, I believe anyways. I thought that's who we saw. And they're just sort of showboating around. This is what they do, right? They get the interviews, whatever, create some hype about their name and whatever. So we'll just wind up seeing what happens here. We did cover some down there. Like our best fill down there was 90s. We got 69.90 and 69.95. Oh yeah, while we were gone, I put that same stop here for SOXL. So SOXL breaks the 50-period moving average, and we just got out of our last piece. We were holding literally 10%. Not 9 outs there. That's the last one. Looks bad. We got out 11s at 18. We'll see what winds up happening, but we did take advantage of this move. So let's just wait to see if that move continues. And if it breaks, it breaks, right? We were going to get out here at the top break. $70 and 30. Well, here's my stop right here.
34.50.
Yeah, 34.50. $70 and 34.50 before we get out. So that's what we're going to try it up there. And I'm going to put some more offers just to get a few more shares in case we get back into that area. So that's going to be the rough zone for me. And yeah, that's what we're going to go with for now. Shorting the market.
The zone. Oh, you know what? We haven't looked at
the zone. Okay,
before I get to crypto, this is about to go. No, yes, no. Okay.
Maybe,
well,
maybe.
Whenever I talk about a breakout, it doesn't break. Whenever I talk about like a stop level, I guess it doesn't want to trigger. Like, is that what's happening? I'm just above 50 here. It's at 50. I'm just above it, so a couple of cents above this. I don't like putting it at the even dollar level, but it's not that far away. Okay, now that I'm staring at it, Apple is going to probably, maybe it'll do it. You'll see it in a second. There it goes. You know what's interesting? I keep seeing this. Like when I use my own stop, like one where I put in the price, like you'll see it like go to like here or something like that. Like that auto trigger stop that we have, like that fires like 1 full percent higher.
Right.
The 100%. So it's actually not a market order, believe it or not. You guys saw it live. Like when it went to go hit 50s, and now we're coming back under. I should probably re-enter this trade. Now when it went to go hit 50s, like it's throwing it all the way 1% higher into 228. But no market orders for me.
It's like a marketable limit order.
Yeah, exactly. It's a marketable limit order.
Yeah.
But there is when you throw that type of an order, there's actually a rule at the market as to how far you can cross. That's depending on the price of the stock. So it always has some kind of limit.
But no man can cross it though.
Where you're not allowed to. But this is actually important because we had traders on this floor, and you might remember this.
Oh yeah.
That were trading earnings and wanted to throw aggressive orders to make sure they got filled when a level would break so they would get out. And what happened was they crossed further than you're allowed to cross, order rejected, don't get filled in the aftermarket, stock moves twice as much, get absolutely rinsed. And that was not knowing the structure, the market structure, or what that order was allowed to do or not to do. So when we say, if you're going to trade in the aftermarket or the pre-market, know what stops you have available to you, know what gateways you're now allowed to use, know what types of orders. Because if you can't fire a market order, know what types of limit orders you can throw out there into the vacuum. You say it's like a small thing, but believe me, if you lose money because you didn't know a rule in the market or how to, like a certain order is not going to work in this moment, as opposed to, I was just wrong on a trade, you're going to hate yourself way more. And I've been there because the first time I got shut down big, it had to do with a misunderstanding about the auto cancel feature, the way it used to work back in the day, where if you, on a single individual stock, if you had a certain number of max shares you could set for that stock, and mine had been changed that morning, and usually you always check, what's my daily loss limit? What are my individual max share limits, whatever, if it happened to change? Mine had gone up. My daily stop limit hadn't gone up that I was allowed to lose. But my actual maximum share size had gone up. And so I had orders on a stock and figured, well, once I get past this, it cancels the others. And they stayed out there because my limit had gone up. I got a bunch of extra fills when I thought they would cancel. I just assumed it was going to work. It didn't, and I got rinsed. So know the rules. Know what, control the things that you can control because the market's going to do what it's going to do, and you'll hate yourself if you don't. So wicked out and back into Apple because it immediately regained this level. I'm still going to be taking some out in the quarters because it's a very, very tight range. Still no breakout on, I think I mentioned Rivian was trying to go for 14. It didn't go. Lucid as well, not near 440. I know it broke the high, but Lucid's high in the daily was like a 440 level. So we keep our eyes on Lucid, and we'll keep our eyes on Rivian just in case they do something funky.
All right, just talking about TQs. So this is one again where this is going to be very, very machine traded, right? It's going to be very, very algo based. Just follows the futures. So you're going to see like random spikes up and down. And we actually witnessed this today when this name completely fell apart. So that goes again back to market structure and things. Understanding if there's going to be no bid, you know, which sort of instruments may have more liquidity than others. So like every single level, there's all these share sizes, but yet you don't see the thousands and thousands of shares go through. Most of the time, you'll just see like right there, just rip through levels, and it's orders being pulled, and then traders or whoever's trying to get in there executing like me, trying to punch out real quick. That's why you got to sit on the bids to get filled, I feel like, because you just want to be run over once everyone pulls it, and then you're the last one standing. So you get some kind of a rebate with that one. We're now $2 in the money on NVIDIA right now. So that just keeps on going higher. I feel pretty good about this one, although we want to keep adjusting our stops. So right now the trailing stop, well, it's at 40 anyways. We were at 35, so it hasn't gone up that much. But just keep on watching this. The 50 period has been true. When we took this, we just take it all out. Like a lot of it out here at the 50, a lot of it out here at that last sort of dump off spot there at 127. We wrote down earlier the trade that we wanted was 127 long on NVIDIA. And if you're going to look here, we had that right before. It's like our timing today. I showed you that example on the TQs where basically the whole day could have been that. This is the same thing. It ripped up there. We got stopped pretty much at the bottom. And it's just, we just got to do better. We don't have to do better on anything, but right there, that's the bottom. NVIDIA hasn't been that low since I punched it. So it's like, you know, that out right there, 126.50, 30 minutes later, it's at 129.50. So, I mean, yeah, you want to talk about like making a day difference right there. I mean, that's a pretty good example of missing out on $3 and punching the bottom. Now, I can't say I would have got $3 because there's no way. We'd have probably had a percentage points left. But at the end of the day, a trade that I should have won on winds up losing, and that's just risk. And we talk about that all the time. Our job is to manage risk, put on trades, and then manage the trades. So that's what we do. All right, come on. I think we did not get a fill. So I'm not even sure where I'm waiting here. You want to talk about managing risks? Yeah, I am. $70. So $70.04 is where we're waiting. It got pretty close to that. It went to $70 and like 5 cents. So if it comes back in just a little bit, we'll take another fill again. Kind of just a random spot. I must have just gone down 10 cents. But right here, we're taking some shorts on the NASDAQ. I think we get a chance to fall here into the weekend. I don't know. Could go up, could go down. Goolsby still speaking, I guess. And if not, we've already come off a little bit here today. So let's just wait to see where we go. If it stays straight today, then we're fine. We'll just, or level, we'll then, you know, basically get these out if we can right here. Feel like we'll eventually get run out the top. So let's watch this and definitely take some out like we're trying to do right here. For some reason at 04, see 04 almost hit right there. And we're still not filling. There it goes. We get filled at 04. So we do wait around for that one and grab that. So a decent fill here. We're now 20 cents in the money on this NASDAQ short, which was reloaded. NVIDIA is getting close to coming out. Right now it's 40s. Just double checking our order is still at 34. So if that comes out, that comes out. But hey, man, we have way more risk right now in the NASDAQ. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a lower push right now. Waiting here, sub 70 to get a couple more fills. And then if we're lucky enough to get to 200, then great. We'll take that. And that's at 69.80. And we're already sitting there. We're at 69.87.
So just on my trail on NVIDIA, I'm going to show you visually why, and then you'll see it if it breaks 50. So this lower high or higher lows. Now it's got that trend. It tried to break out. So I'm underneath that 50 level. Once it breaks down under here, I'm not reversing into the short, but I am getting out of the long once it does that. The other thing, I'm trying to get back on the offer of Intel for obvious reasons, because every time it does this, which is barcode or consolidate underneath VWAP, my gut tells me just try to short it because it's been falling almost every single day, especially at the close. So if that's going to be the case, just looking for the short here on Intel. VWAP's about the 60 level on INTC. So NVIDIA for now is holding that 50, looking pretty decent. Microsoft is nowhere near the levels that I wanted to get back into the short, so nothing really going there. Those crypto names should be in play, although I was looking at the EV names for some breakouts. Like it's Bitcoin at 63,000 and Mara doing this. Man, it's chasing Mara up here. Like it's right on resistance on Mara. You know, you got right here, just underneath about like $19, like 18.5 was big resistance. You got the 50 and the 200 period running. It's so hard to want to be long something that's trending like this when it gets to a big level on the daily on Friday. You know, Friday afternoon, a stock runs this far and goes right into a big level on the daily chart. My inclination is usually to short it at said level. So in lieu of not standing in front of it short, I'm at least not going to chase the long on Mara up here. It feels like it should be more of a reversion. Okay, there goes that 50 level on NVIDIA, so I'm out. If it gets back into VWAP, that's about 127.90 or so. We'd look for a re-entry down there. So just Apple, and then we got into Intel here off of this barcode. I actually had a long on Intel today, very, very briefly, like 45 to 55.
We took another bid. right here on the TQs. We are still waiting for it to fall down just a little bit more. We got a 98. That was what we were bidding. So we get that fill. We'll wait to see. Or sorry, we just canceled the 98. We took an 02, canceled our 98s. Now we're waiting for a little bit lower, like I said, into the 80s and into the 60s and the 70s and 60s. And we'll see if we can get a little bit of a pushback here for that play. So far, so good here on that reloaded short. And like Neil mentioned, we'll always, we'll have different targets. I'm going to give it just a little bit more, but the 50 period's breaking. So at the end of the day, we will hope for, yes, sir, a nice move down for the yes, sir. Let's go NASDAQ. I mean, I have, many times the shares on the NASDAQ than we do of NVIDIA. We already talked about only having 10% left there on NVIDIA. So that was a good trade. What's our SOXL out saying right now? Basically right where we got out. So we've already tested these lows before. So let's just see if it wants to stay there. And if not, maybe NVIDIA does bounce at these levels. We're only giving this 5 more cents from where we are right now. See, again, the NASDAQ, this is just how program trading it is. Like, goes down, just gets bought right back up. So that bottom right there, 95. So we got to put a bid now at 96. See if we can get that fill. And this is what scalping is. Like, if you guys are joining for the first time, this is what we do. And, trying to find out levels that might have some kind of support and resistance, buyers, sellers at those levels, take advantage of it. If not for couple minutes, maybe longer, depending, or sometimes seconds when levels break, we'll be punching out immediately. So I'm just going to go short here. Remember where we're short? We're short at 70.20, and our stop is 70.40, so that's 20 cents. So we're just taking the 1-for-1s now. I mean, but I do think we go lower. So that's what I'm trying to do. Hold out that maybe we break lower and can have a banger. I mean, this would set up for a like a much better move, like down into here, 69s for sure, 69.30. Like, you break this level, then I think we test the 200 period. Then at that point, we start looking over at other names and see what they're doing. Because if the rest of the market falls down, this is the NASDAQ 100, right? We know that we've got some overhead resistance right now, and we just talked about this with NVIDIA, not trying to break above this 129 area. So that could come down. We talked about Apple and Microsoft.
Microsoft's breaking down.
Microsoft breaking down. Apple right here underneath VWAP. So it's setting up. Like, I'm not trying to talk like I'm smarter than I am, but it's setting up right now for a potential move down. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. And if it doesn't, then we're already 1-to-1. I mean, I think that's the right amount of risk associated now for 2:30 in the afternoon. So we'll wait to see if we're right about this one. But our stops are in place and our hands are relatively quiet right now.
Yeah, I was just looking over. I was scanning every single thing. Well, not everything, like a bunch of different things that are on my iPad. The Mag 7 names, a couple of earnings potential plays there, and I went back over to Microsoft. Look, the market's barcoding a little bit here. If you look at it on this time frame, so this is a 15-minute, this is a 3 minutes. So it's not exactly the same, but you have essentially like the same range being put in. You got Apple going sideways off of VWAP, but you've got trend down very clean here on Microsoft since it tested VWAP and I got out. So I think this is one where on any pop, it's just a better look. On Softy still trending into the downside, so I'm going to pivot to that. I mean, Intel, it is what it is. Like, every single day it's been at VWAP, I think, since earnings. If it's underneath it, to me, it's just been a short at VWAP if it's underneath in the afternoon. And then do it every single day if you can. And sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But as trending stock down is going to be a little bit better. We're going to be looking at this up here. It's about 415 where you connect that trend line. So when you test back into 415, I would look for the entry in Microsoft. Just going to replace it with a level 2 over here. So I have it up. I want to make sure that we can, when it gets up there, I can just hit the entry on one of my different level 2s. Yeah, the other thing we're going to watch is some of those EV names. But I think it's more likely that you're going to get a crypto move here. So Mara, again, retesting that high. If you're going to dip off that resistance at 18.5, you would think something along the lines of the quarters could be a place to join it. I'm not punching any highs here at all. Franz saying if I like the 15-minute chart, I should look at Rivian. Yeah, but Rivian won't break, Hans. It just won't go. I had actually for most of the afternoon or lunchtime, I was sitting at least in here with a stop break through 14. And then I just ended up canceling it, and it's still, like, look at it. I mean, it's trying to go. That's at 95. I guess it could go again.
Why are all the EVs up so much?
You know, I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
Randy just comes over here and is like, Rivian.
Well, Randy just sort of says Lucid and Rivian, but there's no.
There must be a story.
Sure, I'm going to type in Lucid. I check for Rivian.
I'll just check on Benzinga. We'll be able to figure that out. Right now, Disney is at a level where if you thought about shorting, you could. DIS. Again, I'm going to stick with the market for right now. I think
it's a rate thing.
It's a what?
These guys are saying
a rate thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing them basically say. Yeah, basically because Powell's comments about the economy and future rate cuts. So all of the EV names are going higher because then borrowing costs would go down, I guess.
You got it.
So that whole thing.
I got you. All right, so right here, the reason we want to say Disney is you're coming up here on the 20-minute chart. Someone said look at the 15, and I was sort of already looking at Disney. So coming into a little bit of a break. Stop loading. Right here, 90.40. So some nice top resistance going all the way back to yesterday afternoon when that continued to move down. And yesterday we were talking about this 91 break as well, and that one did not happen. There it is there it is there, and now we're going to the downside. I feel like if you're thinking about a short or something like that, I don't think it'll happen today into these levels. But once we get below, what is this here? Basically 89, it's 89.15, but once you get below 89, then I feel like this does have a nice little retracement back in. So we'll see what does happen with Disney, but this 90.40 right there, we're pretty close to it right now. So if you are looking to go short, there is something there. And then you also have a nice little barcoded top. There's 90.50. I guess now that you zoom in on a 1-minute chart, you see it's 90.5 right there on something that you're interested in for that trade. So yeah, that would be something that I'm looking at right now as well. Disney. All right, so NVIDIA is still holding. Like I said, you know, we all had different levels to punch out on. Neil got out at the 50 marker. We were 4 cents away from getting stopped out on NVIDIA, right? Or whatever that was. And now it's all the way back up. So that's pretty lucky. Some stop outs, you know, we feel like we got hit on and others we did not. Right there. Now this is 128.48. So what we'll do is we will cancel our NVIDIA stop. Wow, it's still going higher, which is not going to be good for my TQQ position. We just got more shares into that, but hold on a second. 128.44s. I'm just going to hurry up and do this because we just got more shares on the TQs. Put that order in, see if that happens. So here we go. We just got a nice little short there on the top end of this trade. So there we go, we'll take some more out. We just shorted some 26s there. We just took some 18s out. It's not going to look crazy or anything like that, but it could work out for us here if we can start to scalp a little bit, as the TQs just gave us that fill right there. So we take another fill out. And I just said that example. It's like some trades you'll see will get in and out real quick, and other trades will wait. But I only got out at 10% there because it did make that move right back up and gave us an average price of 24s like we have now. So a quick little trade there as it did come back in right into VWAP. Now we'll wait for the 50, which is down here at 10s and 11s and so on. So that's kind of where we're looking right now in this market. That seems to be a tricky one as we get right back into the highs. Remember, I was like, this is a stop out potential. So if you're thinking about stopping out on this little wick there, you may want to use a little bit less shares because realistically, 19.8 is still pretty top bound here.
Yeah, like I said, we're still in that same range. I do have that order in on Rivian, so that might pop in any second. So I just saw it at 97. We reloaded Apple. If it breaks the local high again, we get out. You're kind of getting these scalp trades a little bit higher and higher. So every time it goes down there and you get your little 20-cent scalp trade, it's basically just a higher low. So I'm getting a better price for a tighter stop because it's not really giving you the move into the downside. So if it does break out here, it's like 8 or 9 cents worth of risk, but we've got to get some out if it goes underneath VWAP again. Where's Rivian? We'll get to Rivian in a quick little second because Apple's about to go. We did reload it one more time. Each time we're taking profit. We're giving ourselves a local stop up here, and it is not hit yet. All right, everyone, I stare at it, it's not going to go. Tesla is about to break $220.
Wow.
And if this was this morning, I was like, oh, short 220 on Tesla. Tesla just looks like it's gearing up for a big breakout. I already have the order set on Rivian. All right, Rivian's pulling back now. Tesla or Rivian. We'll leave Rivian in there because it's been stronger on the day. Tesla's not actually breaking the high of the day. But if it starts going off 220, this could be an opportunity to join it rather than take the breakout at 244 at such a random level. So we'll see what happens on Tesla. I'd rather leave the order in on Rivian because that's been so incredibly strong, relatively speaking. Like it's up double. It's got the short float to go with it. Let me just double check Lucid. Yeah, Lucid's not near that 440 level. Feels like Rivian's the one. If something is going to try and take out the top here, it's back into 96. There's about 100,000 shares on the offer. That's not a whole lot when it's done 31 million. So it's going to have no trouble breaking through the 14 even. I'm only crossed to 04s. Feel like I should be able to get a 1 or 2 fill.
Oh, my. Marissa's like, oh, it's St. Pat's time. I'm like, St. Patrick's Day? Like, what's going on here? And that's apparently Gia's team name. So, I thought she already started. Okay. All right. So let's go here. All right. So we did take a little bit out there on the TQQs. I'm just going to probably talk about this position because it's the only one that I'm in. Well, we're in NVIDIA, but we've already talked about that. We have a little bit less on that than, than this TQQ position because we just got reloaded. And we have a couple fills down here. We just got 12s, by the way, as that just fell in for us. Remember, the 50 period right here is 10s. So we've obviously haven't been able to break, but I don't want my bias. I just said there's a potential for us to collapse in, but it might be like, maybe this also, if you look the other way, potentially we can make a move back up to 19,800 right now as well. So we're kind of just dancing in the middle here, and we don't want to be caught with our pants down when you're dancing around. So we have the stop out. The stop right now is even more aggressive. Like our last fill was 26s. Our stop is still 40. So when we make money, it's sort of helping us, bite the bullet a little bit if we wind up getting stopped out. But we're still holding up more than half now of the reloaded position. So we'll have to wait to see if that, 245 dump. Kyle, I don't, it's 246. So like, hello,
What is it about 245?
I don't know. Kyle just put it in the chat there, so I don't know. But hopefully we do come back in here a little bit. Oh, you already mentioned Tesla, so why did I go over to that one again? What about Google was another name? We could look at a couple other runners if there's any other names you guys want us to look at. Look what's happening. Let me just quickly, as I look at Google not doing much.
RFK's live now.
I was going to say, look at IBIT right now. If you're looking at some Bitcoin, IBIT right now at 5% and at day's high. Like you want to talk about a potential rally spot right here. 3620 coming for IBIT again. Like, this 50 period moving average, just loving this all day. Bounces off the 200, supports VWAP again, and now you're all the way up one more time for IBIT. So I feel like this is a good breaking spot. We know RFK and President Trump have been, sponsoring Bitcoin. They even talked a little bit about it. He spoke at the Bitcoin conference in Miami, I believe. Trump did. And then he was also, both of them, I thought were talking about people should be holding Bitcoin. You guys, those of you in the chat would know this story much better than I, but I believe there was something there with that, as Randy pointing at IBIT.
Ghost Randy.
Right now. All right, I'm just going to continue to watch out for this TQ trade and hopefully get a little bit of a dump off right now.
So I was just sort of saying there, RFK is currently speaking. We know he's endorsing Trump here, so this is not as if it's going right now. It's about to break out these highs. Let's see what actually happens here, because I don't feel like this is any new news. This is exactly what everybody expected for multiple days now. So if it manages to somehow hold above this bid or not completely dump, maybe worth joining. It's doing a lot of volume since the announcement that he was going to make the announcement, for lack of a better, there we go, the announcement of the announcement, and now he's making the announcement. It's doing a lot of extra volume, but still no real break through this high. I think one of the good things for the stock would be that it went to the all-time low and is trying to bounce off it. Just remember, stopped at 25 pretty heavily yesterday. So any longs, watch out for the 25 level, and keep in mind, I saw someone in the chat say it, I'd be surprised if the second eligible there wasn't some aggressive selling done in September. I think other people that are holding this might want to get out in front of that and take profits when it does go up. That's just me. That's where my head would be at if I was in this DJT. But right now it's not really following through. Rivian still refuses to break out. It is still at $13.97. It's like, yeah,
I mean, there might not be too much movement in the afternoon
Still
period,
there.
which is kind of why I'm trying to focus on the futures here. Nike, $83. Let me check out on Starbucks. That was a name that we've looked at before. I was really interested in that 92 level. It keeps on holding and holding and holding, which is great because we're long Starbucks. And we were lucky enough to get long down here in the 70s, just trying to buy higher quality names, at least brand names, because we saw retail was really strong. So, I mean, can't predict a CEO change, but you knew that there was activist involvement, right? We talked about that over and over again, Starboard and somebody else. And then you took a position in Nike when I was Pershing Capital there with Bill Ackman. But right now, Starbucks holding, like, look how good that 92 looks. Again, today up 1.8%. Looks like it's a double up from the market, so that's relatively strong. I don't know if it's going to be a good breakout play or not, but if you zoom back the other way out, you'll see you are trying to get to that high one more time, 94.50. So that's a Starbucks look right there. Again, real strong all day. Real strong. There was one pullback when Powell was done, basically. And I feel like the whole market did that move. And then since then, it's kind of just been a ho-hum type of situation. So, all right, the TQs is still there. Nike Palantir. I haven't heard this 1 minute today, and I haven't looked at it either. So tisk as Palantir today, okay, down. So we are not expected to see this red in a 1% market. So I think Snowflake and I think some of the software as service names and things like that continue to get a little bit whacked in this environment right here. Palantir, I thought, might have been a beneficiary of lower rates. But again, they don't need to raise capital or anything, so maybe that's part of why they're not really getting bumped up here or anything, or bumped up today. So we'll have to wait to see about Palantir, but pretty good move down, but absorbing this 31.50. So I think this will be a short up around 32. So if it can come there, we have VWAP, we have this little area of consolidation where I think it could drop off of. That's 32.10 actually, with a VWAP protection of 32 flat. So just some ideas to work with. Unfortunately, the NASDAQ is doing absolutely nothing. We had a little bit of a dip down into 19s there. We're at 15s again, right ahead of VWAP. If we can get that level, that is VWAP 13. So if we can get that, we'll take it. And other than that, man, sitting on our hands. NVIDIA is still working, but really not moving. I'm going to guess Intel's not moving, but
it has dropped a whopping 4 pennies since I got in.
4 pennies, that's hot.
It's like, I mean, like not much moving on the offer. 14's on the offer of Rivian right now, so it's still creeping up there. Like, I think it's going to be a scalp pit on a breakout. It's a breakout trade when the market's not doing a heck of a lot. So thinking it's going to go from 14 to 15, no. I'm just thinking if it can go from 14, quick stop at like 98 or 99, and it can get to 15, 14, 10, 14, 15, that'd be good enough of a move there. So it's on the offer. I don't think it's going to move $1 from here at all. And like for Intel, like I'm on the bid every 5 pennies on this thing. And then if it breaks down through the low, we'll see if it can do what it does every other day. Let's go to Adara. We've got some business at the desk.
This part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today.
Can't like
anything right.
I can't make this stuff up. Like, so remember what price we said we were sitting at? 15s. It went to 16 and stopped literally right there. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. I put my hands up for that one, and then it just rips right back up to the top. It doesn't matter. We would have got out of a piece, but it's just funny. Like, you sit there with an order, and we talked about that, and then it just spikes right back up. But obviously, it's a nice aggressive move. Generally speaking, the amount of shares that I'm talking about will not affect anything here. I mean, this has done 54 million shares. Like, unless I'm sitting here with 1 million shares, I wouldn't expect my levels to mean anything. So just funny that I guess everyone's kind of looking maybe the same way. And look at that, boom. There's not that much liquidity in this market right now. You're going up and down 10 cents like it's candy. So we got to get something out here. This leads me to believe that we could have a downside move. I am bidding some 18s now to try to take an amazing 7 cents and capture the whole move over the last 20 minutes. That would be nice if we're able to do that. But for right now, let's see if we get a little bit of action now, pulling back in. Would be nice if we can get that fill down 15, 16, 17, and then try to make a move into VWAP. If we're wrong, fine. But let us breathe a little bit here. You know, like, come on. You know, throw a dog a bone right now. Take a couple outs, and then if you want to win, fine. But give me an out down there, man. We've been very, very patient waiting for this. That's what we're going to do on the NASDAQ. And it sounds, we've just been short all day. So the bias is clearly here. That's what all these purples are. I don't have one long today in the market. So I don't know. Finally, thank you. There's 18s. Now, if we can get 15s now, then maybe we can get that. So nice little move back in. All right. Let's just keep on going, man. I mean, hopefully we get that. NVIDIA, we could change our stop. It's basically flushing right now. We should probably get out almost right now. Our stop is at 44s. Let's just do it breaking through 54s. 128.54. We put that stop in, flatten it out automatically. So we want to play the 50-period moving average. So we got a little distracted there. We should probably be out right now. Let's just give it a couple more pennies, see if it goes down. Don't want to just flip over to stock and punch out. Let's see if it wants to work as the TQs goes right back up. So see, we get one fill at 18. It goes to 17 and does not give us 15. So hopefully there's a flush coming, Neil, but I'm not so optimistic anymore about a market move. Are you?
The good news is I got ones on Rivian, and then I joined the offer at 4. Starting to go 4s, 7s, 9s, and then 13s. I was sitting on the offer. It got right there. Someone popped on the bid for size at 3. I'm like, oh, we're going to get the fill at 4. Sat there. Nobody bought 4s. Nobody bought 4s. Nobody bought 4s. Somebody swiped the 3 level. I'm like, okay, we're going right back on it. Get out at 99. The lack of volume that just happened there. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is the thing. If you're just looking at the chart like, oh, look at the volume spike when it takes out 14, it's going to run. But if you were actually watching it, like I was just sitting there staring at it, like all that volume was on the break, and then it tried to go higher, and like literally nobody was buying above that high. So that's the definition of, kind of lackluster. Oh, and if you're wondering about that DJT break, oh, well, maybe we should be taking a DJT break at the high because RFK is speak. Nope.
Ooh, we got it.
Nope, absolutely not. So that's not working. And if you took that breakout, as I said, like I'm basically just in a short that's kind of slowly going down. I keep thinking Microsoft is going to actually spike to give some kind of a fill up in here. But the longer it holds down, the lower the trend line gets, and the closer it becomes to just taking an entry in this one. Because there's just not a heck of a lot going on. So we're going to have to be patient with it. It's just because it's power hour doesn't mean there's going to be power moves.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
It's pretty much that simple. So, if I see something that's like really actually moving, like not just, it's at a high of the day and it has a chance to break. Like I went over to Peloton. Peloton's done 70 million shares today and is up 2 days in a row after earnings and has a big short flow. It's got a big $5 level. But it's doing absolutely nothing up at this top. I don't wonder if it shouldn't just be what just happened on Rivian. If Peloton does the same thing, just short 99s on the way back through. Like I think that's what I'd rather do. If none of these things are going to go, let someone else take the next break, and then when it comes back under, just short that. Because everyone's going to be running for the exits when their breakout trade doesn't go anywhere.
Bye-bye. I mean, it's just, we still have, like, we got out basically, we got out of about 20%. We want to hold, man. My next bid is in the 90s, then in the 80s. So I already said this. I said this in the chat. We're building our position. We talked about why we like this short. We're in the short, and we're in it with shares. So let's see if this wants to go. I mean, I think this is a good opportunity. This is a good opportunity. Let's go. We're at the highest spot we've been at since the morning. So this has been good right now. Are we bouncing off 70? See, this is why it's so hard for me to look at stocks. Stop looking, my guy. And then you can hold it for a little bit longer. We'll put a bid at 03s. There it is. We'll take it out at 03. So we did get. So, I mean, you guys saw this, man. We're reloaded lots of times here for the short. And we'll just wait to see. Now we got to wait. That's 80s. We're bidding 87s. It just went to 89s. Give us it. Give us it. Let's go, Neil. This is what we're talking about. This is how you have to have this confidence in your trades, man. We sat there. I mean, we didn't have that much confidence, but we didn't get out of our position. We talked about the levels that we wanted. We wanted the 80s. We wanted 15s. I can't believe a couple minutes ago we were like, we can't get 15s. There's the move back down in right there. And here we go again, man. The party's just started here for the NASDAQ. How low can we go? I say lower. Back over to Adara.
Keep an eye on MSTR here. A lot of these crypto stocks really strong, but MSTR here about 11%, getting into high of day here at that $150 level, and looking a little bit more bullish here than some of these other crypto-related stocks. So just be aware of this name pushing higher here as we get into power hour. Also, RFK Jr. is still talking. Have him on my ear. We'll let you guys know if there's anything being said there, guys.
Yeah, I think that ship might have sailed on RFK. He didn't say anything that we didn't already know, and I wouldn't necessarily expect it. I'd be cautious about that. Mara, MSTR, whatever you happen to be looking at. I think those are coming in and fading, and Mara especially is at that big level, 1850s resistance for it regardless. So I'd be a little bit careful with any of these. Like, you're just at such not ridiculous, you're at such big highs. And then MSTR specifically, let me go to that one. Like 150 on a Friday. Oh yeah, it's not gonna. Our charts don't split adjust. Sorry about that.
Man.
Yeah, 150 on a Friday when you've already made that move. It's a little bit dicey to punch some highs. So at the end of the day, I like Rivian because it had a short float. It tried to go, as I said. If I got on the offer and just got it all out, I could have made 2 cents.
Boom.
On Rivian. Like, I risked 2 cents, but like going into the trade, there's no way I'm thinking we're punching along at 01s, we're going to get out at 03. That was never the plan of action. So that one's going to be heading to the downside. You're just slowly bleeding here in the market. So here comes, I got a bid at 41, and then I'm going to have a bid at 35 as well on Intel. We're just going to hang on to this. I think if it goes 50 down into 30, it goes a point down, and we'll take it from there, because the risk is, to me, to the downside. Really, if you think about it, like where we are overall, it's monster sell day and then underneath a previous support level. So without breaking out the top, there's just a heck of a lot more room to settle back down around like a 19.6 or something, and then you still haven't chewed through that resistance to the upside. So sort of is what it is. Let's hang on to this and see how far it does go to the downside. Rivian millionaire on 1 million shares, though, he says. On what?
Yeah. We're on 1 million shares of Rivian probably. But there, guys. I mean, honestly, for all my tradeaholics out there, we got to have a name for all of you. I hope I'm not disappointing you guys by getting out of this a little bit too early, but we're starting to get hit now on the downside. We called this move, man. Remember, this is 20 cents worth of risk. We're now in the money 40. We're starting to take some of this out. It's a big position. It's a big trade. It is the NASDAQ short. Oh man, I'm just watching it here. We just took some more out. I don't have any more bids now, so I want to be kind of hands off. If it does flush in, though, we talked about some levels that we were looking at, right? Into here, that's 40s and 50s, so maybe that's okay. Maybe that's a level to go to. So let's just go to 60s. We'll put a bid at 61, and then maybe we get sort of that situation again where we really start to collapse in. So there we go, man. I mean, I got to have a name. We'll think of something. But there it is. Nice move to the downside here for the triple Qs, and we just covered a bunch at the 200 period moving average. So if this, we already said this, man. This is what we're waiting for to happen today. We're putting these numbers back in the building one more time. It's a little bit of a face slapper here as we continue to make moves down. There it is now, 60 cents in the money. That's a 3-to-1 trade given to you right now, and there it goes, collapsing back in. We're bidding 61s. I might switch that to 6.6. What's up, eh?
Still getting some comments here from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., so just be aware of DJT in those regards, saying that he's actually suspending the campaign, but he will still be running, so there will be a possibility of him being on the ballot in certain states. So just to be aware here, that is what's going on with regards to DJ Key, and comments from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is still talking, suspending the campaign, but still on some of the ballots, guys.
I get that. I see how that makes sense. He's not spending money on stuff and going out there and stumping, but he's still technically on it.
But I think maybe in states that he thinks he can steal some votes.
Oh, yeah, it just said, like,
Mr.
battleground.
Steal Your Girl over there, RFK.
Mr. Steal Your Girl, RFK. No. The shorts are Steal Your Girl this afternoon. So
shorts, give the girls. Let's go.
Sometimes it is what it is. Like, risk 2 cents. You try to make 10, 15. I think we're going to get some of these lows in here. There's a lot of things that just rolled over. So I can show you this because we're in it, but I also wanted to point out NVIDIA just got to VWAP and is trying to make a bounce play here. So quick little bounce while that market was going down. NVIDIA doesn't seem to want to lose VWAP. I'd like to see it consolidate. Look at what it did last time to give you the confirmation. I don't know if we'll get the exact same thing, but I don't want to just sit on a bid here. If I think the market's rolling over, I want some more confirmation that the buyers are good to go. Obviously, Tesla's lost its level as well. So the 220 has come and gone on TSLA. This is a good level on Tesla. I feel like if it puts in a lower high and the market starts taking lows, I'd want to join this one into VWAP, not necessarily through strong stock. If it's short to me would be to VWAP, not through it because it's a relatively strong stock, a very strong stock, I should say, today for Tesla. All the EVs are. But if it fails at 220 again, this time I should take it.
So I'm not even sure what kind of percentage of a position we have left, but I'm going to say probably about 30% left or so. So we're just going to try to piece it out as we get down now, as we've been doing. Like we just mentioned, this is right now 2-to-1. We were able to get something at 71 there. That was our best fill. That 71. So you guys saw me put that in there. Remember, we missed the 66s. We take a 71. And then now my next bid is at, well, we're bidding 56s. So that was right into this area here, just before this little drip. And then we're bidding down here 40s. And then if it wants to go, great. I mean, we could just retrace back up, but we've already, I feel like, done quite well on that. And we can still wait. I mean, this market is going to go back and forth a little bit. So no surprise here as we wait to see what the eventual settling down of this trade is. Good job going long. If you did have something there off the bottom, I feel like you always want to go long, strong names. Tesla's up 4% there. We did get dropped out. We can always have a quick look, of course, on our NVIDIA trade because that, I think, went the other way as well, right? Look at that. Like, that's the props right there. When we're talking about hitting outs, you know, like, and I'm just looking at it now. That's the 50-period break. So right there, even though we only had 5% or 10% left, you save this. So like that goes all the way to the downside, and it's like just by getting out, you know, you get that coffee when you go home. You know, it's just like it's boom. Save yourself a little bit of money, have some risk management, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it gets punched out and rips right back up, and that happens to me way more than good outs. So you know, you got to take the good with the bad. But there it is, right there. I mean, pretty happy to be able to have that fill in the pocket coming through. Join me in Raider Trader tonight. It's not going to be long, man. The thing is ending immediately at 4:30. So do not. I got to head right over to High Park immediately. We have it's going to be probably some of the biggest attendance that there's been at High Park so far as we wrap up our season right now as the High Park girls play the Royal York rep team. So it should be back and forth game. But I'm very, very confident.
Why do you think it'd be okay? I was about to say.
I don't know.
You were saying that to be polite. Oh, I get you.
You know, I mean, they're two rep teams facing each other. I have no idea what's.
You were doing a Sauce Gardner there.
I mean, I think we're going to win. But you know, as a coach, like we're a very high-spirited organization, so we want to make sure that everyone has a great time. And I will not be pitching our best pitchers.
I'm guessing you didn't hear when Sauce Gardner was asked about Daniel Jones. Sauce Gardner, he's a cornerback for the New York Jets.
I know he talks a lot about everybody, I feel.
He was asked in a press conference because the Jets were practicing against the Giants, and he was asked a question about how does Daniel Jones, the quarterback of the Giants, look? And all I can say is this. You know that athletes are trained to give certain answers, like not truly speak their minds, but give like TV answers and not say anything critical of another player on the team to get bulletin important material. You could actually see in this guy's brain trying not to trash Daniel Jones. Like, I've never seen somebody he's an eloquent dude, he's kind of funny, all that kind of stuff. But he was trying so hard not to say that the dude is trash and trying to compliment him, but also not trying to be BS. I was dying laughing just listening to it because you could just see this dude being like, oh my goodness, I'm stepping on my foot. And then he ends it by saying, yeah, we had some fun out there. It was really competitive. I'm like, dude, come on. Just say the guy stinks. Sometimes I just wish there'd be more athletes that would go up to the podium and just tell it like it is. Charles Barkley is like that. That's what I loved about Chuck, man. It's just he doesn't care about all that nonsense, and I get it, endorsements and stuff. So
yeah, now he's already got paid.
No, like who am I to judge? Because people do, you just want to get paid. So I respect that to a certain extent. You want to make sure you get your money, then say whatever you want. But come on, dude. We all saw how bad that guy was, and you're going to sit there and try to, I almost picked him off, and then he held on to the ball. I'm like, get the hell out. I want to see what else is going on here for some moves. I'm holding on to the one short we have. I did take another leg out when I saw the market bounce there, just because if the only range we have is, I was just on NVIDIA for this VWAP play. If the only range we have is this, like we're short here at 54, our stop was here at 57, it got down to 40, and then it started to get bid up again, so we got some out. Now we have the 35 level where I'm just going to wait. That's this low here. And $2.25 is just, I know it's like the quarters, but it's the morning range bottom, pre-market low. Like it's all of the lows from this morning. If it gets to $2.25, I would get out of it. AO just said Josh Allen 2.0. No. And
Daniel Jones?
I love everybody. I love our trading community. We have the best trading community out there. There's absolutely no question about it. I love everybody in this chat. But respectfully, AO Lewis in the chat, you were a little bit wrong on that. And when Josh Allen wins the MVP this year, I will do my best not to gloat too much. But I will. A lot. He's going to be the MVP this year.
If he can put up those numbers with...
No, because he has nobody.
That's what I was going to say. With who he has now,
He's
then, yeah, he definitely deserves...
He has nobody to throw to but a bunch of rookies. So
getting
they're
some
second-year guys. So.
Getting some look there.
You're going to get
Well,
it.
he has, what's his name?
Dalton Kincaid, baby.
The guy from Washington, Curtis Samuel, doesn't he?
Curtis Samuel.
I know he's old. Yeah, I'm just saying.
If I didn't hurt my Achilles, I could probably take him in a race.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah.
No, you're right. He's still fast.
Yeah, I mean,
Still really fast.
I mean, he's in the NFL.
No, I know. I'm joking. He's past his prime is all I'm saying. Like he was a good player a few years back. I don't think he's going to be a guy we can lean on.
Right. No.
For the Bills.
No, it would have to be Kincaid or some James Cook action back there and stuff like that. So, all right. So we'll take a quick look to see if there's anything else going on. Amazon. So these futures have come back up. I mean, we sort of talked about what percentage we had left. So we're just going to hold on to that and see if it was good. Good outs there at the 200 period. We cannot complain. Amazon, we said we'd have a quick look. So let's just do that quickly because it's approaching VWAP as well. And this name, we're looking for weaker names, right? We did talk about that, looking for some weaker names. Wonder if Amazon is that thing as well. Underneath VWAP right here, there's not going to be many names that look a lot like the futures, but right now, we're right at VWAP right here, which is why we're shorting. I mean, we're already short the NASDAQ. So I was kind of thinking the same thing right now. If you thought Amazon and the market was going to be a little bit weaker, instead of just saying, well, we're only looking at this one name and it's the futures, maybe you want to look at an equity. Amazon's right here at 177.10. Looking like it might want to come back in a little bit. The 50-period moving average is still downward sloping. We hit it right there. It just absorbed that and came right back in, but that was at 178.50. Now you're at 177.50 with a little bit of protection. So I'm just saying that's 177.50. So what I mean by that is that to me would be an out. Now you just got to calculate, like, is there going to be enough movement to hold this 50 cents against you in order for it to drop down 50 cents. The market just looks like that's a complete V-shaped recovery there, right back to highs again. So watch out now, man. I mean, I might put a little bit more back on for the TQQs here, but after that, I think we'll just let this thing ride a little bit here to back up to the upside. There you go. We'll take those shorts at 23s, and now we'll see. Remember, our stop is still 40s. So if that comes out, that comes out. I feel pretty good right now. We've made the money on this. We'll just put on about half. So now we have half of our initial position, but we are reloaded right now on these TQs. So let's see if it does give us some love back here to the downside.
Yeah, 220 came pretty quickly on Tesla. That happened rather fast. We were just talking about this. We were talking about a lot of things, and Tesla went 19 back into 20. There was this wick out above. I got Lindros in front of it, and how strong it is. Do I think it gets back to 219? Maybe, but I'll be on the bid at the $0.50, that's for sure. And Rivian Millionaire, I'm down with that. Kyle Burdett said in the chat, 5,000 points if Allen doesn't win the MVP. I mean, the points thing is fun. We have a lot of fun with that. You spin it, you get points for watching the program, and then there's fun stuff you can do, sort of dueling people in the chat with our fake points for the viewers. But I'd rather something solid. And Rivian Millionaire just said, I have to do burpees when I'm recovered if Josh Allen doesn't win the MVP. So I'm down with that. As long as Rivian Millionaire, as long as whatever it is, the number, let's call it 50, you have to do it and put it on a video, and then you have to send it to me so that I can see, and I'll show everybody. So just send me the video when you have to do them because he's going to win that MVP award. So I said we take a shot at Tesla here at the 220 level, but I don't want to fight it too hard. It just broke it back out. I had 88s, got out at that 05 level. I don't mind hanging on to Intel because it's lower highs, right? Like the market, like look at this. Like here's the difference and the reason why we're in Intel right now and we're going to hang on to this till the close or close to it. The market's now breaking out of its resistance level higher and going higher and higher and higher. And this is at a lower high and underneath VWAP. So I think it's an opportunity to take this rollover here and just get back on the offer. Forget about 55, try to grab like 45 and see if we can just hang on to this. Relative strength, relative weakness. We'll see if we can grab this one to the downside. I'm going to double check on DJT because I feel like it makes some sense. Yeah, that's still absolutely dead. MSTR is the other one I know a lot of people are looking at in here. Like, I guess that was pretty good through 150. That was pretty solid through that 150 level there on MSTR. I assume Mara's probably breaking out. Bitcoin's 63.5. Yeah, Mara's starting to break out as well. We could have an upside move. If you're going to short something, it better be relatively weak. And as a matter of fact, if the market's this strong, I'm going to adhere to a rule of mine, which is wait for some confirmation on the curl. And, okay, we're now coming back underneath. Let's get back on the offer. This stock is so weak. That doesn't seem to want to go to the downside. Softy's breaking 415. Apple's going as well. Got to get something that's, like I said, I want to get something that's still looking like it's a dog right now outside of Intel. I'm going to double check Meta. Meta's breaking a local high. Amazon was strong. I haven't looked at Amazon, but you were saying it was strong. Microsoft's under VWAP. This could be something on Microsoft. Microsoft's at resistance, but it broke the trend line to the upside. See, that's a reversal to me. Like
there goes that stop.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that short. Let's let this one go a little bit higher into VWAP because the actual resistance level's at 416. So Intel's weak, so I don't mind that. I can't find anything else that is. AMD, Eric just said.
Normally I get right back into this.
AMD. No, you're right. AMD is weak. AMD's in that bucket too, well underneath VWAP. Wow, AMD's really weak compared to NVIDIA.
All right, you know what? One more try. All right, this is not going to wind up costing us that much this time because we're really close to our stop out spot. We just got taken out. I mean, and I feel like we talk about when stops get run. I mean, you know, to say that everyone's stop was here. I mean, we were lucky enough to get the best price. Looks like we got 40-41s, which is awesome. So our last little hit there was a small, remember we said we only taken half the position. So a small little reload there. So, you know, really lucky to have not been affected by this, but we did lose on it, obviously. So we'll have to wait to see if now $70.50, a little bit higher than that, is the spot for concern. So I'll average into that level. And again, we're just playing with kind of with house money on this trade, but you never really want to lose just for the sake of losing, but obviously. So we'll try that against there. Just wondering if we all got stopped out at the same level there. So we'll put some back in. If we can get this back into the low 20s, we'll take another bid. And then, you know, we were lucky enough to hit that 200 period right there. When we finally collapsed, we were like, oh, finally. And then it just went, nope, all the way back. So now we don't want to mess too much around with our lines here. If it gets into VWAP and gets into the 50 period moving average, then we'll grab some of that. So far, so good here. Looking obviously for a little bit more of a movement here. We just talked about some names. Palantir was one that was weaker, so maybe that just got going again, kind of did, right into that level again there, 31.90. We wanted to short it near VWAP. We sort of talked about that, so that didn't come through yet either. But yeah, so far, I guess just waiting to see if there's anything hitting within the rest of the day here. 317 power hours here.
It's here, but
did Rivian? You already looked at that, right?
Yeah, Rivian. You know what? In complete, like hindsight's always going to be 20/20.
It is.
But what's interesting about it? No, because it's actually starting to go now. Like it was a slow motion breakout, and sometimes this is what happens: slow motion breakout. You go to something else, like okay, Rivian's not going to go. It holds 95, and now like it broke 14 again. I don't want to say that it's going because the high is 1408, but the way that this is moving and the way the market is moving, that's not bad. Like if you had just waited for it to consolidate here, so instead of taking a 14 break, say, hey, the market's not doing much of anything, so don't take the breakout, just wait for it to find a support level. You could be long at 97 with a stop at 95, and at least it went to 1408. And if that's what it is, then so what? You risk 2 or 3 cents to make 7 or 8. Because that's the trade that was available, not the break of 14 going straight to 10 like an easy trade would be in the morning. Like breakouts in the morning do this. Sometimes in the afternoon they do the same thing, but that's why you look for like a potential parabolic mover through the highs, like maybe a Peloton, even though it's not doing it. Certainly the crypto names have that opportunity. DJT would have had that opportunity if anybody seemed to care about the news that was already coming, but that ended up being a reversion back to VWAP. So, you know, and shouldn't be a surprise. This was at $22.75 when we found out the time that he would be saying it, and it's right back to the same level when we find out that he's saying exactly what we expected to be said. So nothing burger over there on DJT. It's the crypto names that have all the juice, it seems right now.
Sure does. Wow, 63.5 right here. We had written down earlier, Mara, $17. I mean, we can have a quick look at that. Every single time we put down a level for Mara, it seems to be like pretty good. And there's $17 at the bottom today, 16.80 Mara, just really ripping down. This is the sticky note trader that we have right here. We put out it every single day. We put down $17, of course. That's when it was above 17. Off the open, it does make that dip into that level, 16.80, and then starts to go up. I mean, we only chose 17 because we sort of looked at this from yesterday, just thought about dipping back into this level. We would have definitely given this 25 cents. I mean, this is part of why we wrote down 17. Dipping in now to 17 was the play that I was sort of concerned with there. So good little look there. All right, by the way, we went back into TQQs because I'm trying to trade the futures here, but the market wants to go higher, and now it's going higher. So there it goes, break one more penny, I believe, and we're going to get out of this one as it continues to go. I mean, we could give it a little bit more room. Maybe we'll give this to 60s, again, 70, 61 or so to see about that trade. We're only short at 40s right now. We're trying to give this, so trying to get out. We already put our bids in the 20s, but we just did get run up on the top side here. With Power Hour on, if the market just wants to go up, the market wants to go up. We have those market on close imbalances coming, and maybe we should have checked that out, which now we are. Enbridge again. Okay, Schwab with the sell.
Oh, did Schwab break
that? Energy names, man. KMI here. There's Chipotle, I guess, with a bid as well.
Schwab had that flat bottom break. Did it ever do it?
No, it did not. Okay, we can have a quick look at that as Enbridge still remains a buy again. Pipelines hot. All right, so we'll find out. Here comes the market coming back in just a little bit, but this is just tipsy-turvy action right now. I'm fine with holding on to this. We're close to getting stopped out, unfortunately. We talked about it. Let's see if it wants to come back in just a little bit into 40s and then hopefully a little bit lower after that. Looks like the market wants to get higher. We thought lower. We took advantage of it for sure. Got stopped out low. I mean, when we have all these ins and only one out, it's pretty good. And we even mentioned that we only had half position. So pretty happy with the trading there. Would love for it to get lower, though. Almost stopped out on TQs, 10 more cents. And then we can stop going short the market and maybe just figure out what we want to do into the close. Maybe energy. Or nothing.
Well, there might be nothing. Who knows? But yeah, Schwab didn't come close to breaking that down.
Yeah, got some pasta.
But it's still going to be on the radar. This is one of these names. Oh, you got some of the actual pasta.
Yeah, I actually kind of like this stuff. There's like a little broccoli in here. There's some chicken.
There's like 2 vegetables I don't eat.
That salad that we had was pretty.
Brussels sprouts.
The salads are mid. Oh, I like broccoli. All right, so here we coming back in. Brussels sprouts, yeah, not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts. But
no.
My favorite vegetable.
You know what? Fabian is like
zucchini.
undefeated.
I really like zucchini. And mushrooms.
The longer we do this,
mushrooms.
It's like
zucchini.
John's talking, camera's on him. He's talking. I make a stink face because I'm like, I generally don't like broccoli. But Fabian is undefeated, catching me doing stuff like that all the time. Like I'll give like a cringe face or like whatever. Or if Ramin's on there, she always tries to catch me eating food. Yes, it is true, Ramin. You always try to catch me eating food. Do you have a Kit Kat? Oh, Ramin is. I mean, to be honest though, like Ramin is probably the nicest person on the entire show.
See how you switched that up real
fast? No, it's absolutely true. Always thoughtful. Comes here, works when she's not feeling well. I mean, come on. Just always cheerful and giving you positive. Thank you, Ramin. I like candy.
That's good, man. The Kit Kat is nice. I'm having more broccoli here.
You could have your broccoli.
All right.
Broccoli 0. Kit Kat 127.
Kit Kat is gonna work.
Every day, Kit Kat is gonna win.
I like a Kit Kat. 3 Musketeers, not bad. A couple different chocolate bars in there.
That's random, and come on, you haven't had a three Musketeers bar.
Yeah, in the way. No, just Halloween. I mean, I don't. When are you ever going to the store and buying chocolate bars? I don't.
I try not
to.
I'm sure
lots of people do, but I
actually I have a specific rule. Like I don't buy donuts for myself when I go into a donut shop. I'll get myself a coffee because I know what I'm going to do. And if I go to the grocery store, I do not buy treats because I'm not the type of person I'm pretty disciplined in my eating in a general sense, but if it's in front of me and you offer it to me, I'm going to be like, yeah, I want that right now. Let's go. I'll eat all the Oreos on the planet if you let me. I feel like this should almost be Look at NVIDIA wanting to break out. I'm not taking any breakouts at 320. Like, look at this NVIDIA off of VWAP. Bias, 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 bias. Wanted the short, wanted the short, wanted the short. Unless the stock is unbelievably weak, we should be thinking about buying dips because the range is the range, and it is what it is at this particular point. I'm not even getting refills in this here on Intel. Now it's got a flat bottom break. So suddenly there's a wall here at like 39 and 40. So no need to be shorting this. If it's going to break this, I'll just look to short underneath and add to it toward the bottom. So a bit of a flat bottom forming on the one stock that we still have out there. What else we got going? Rivian Millionaire says, let's go. What?
PQQ longs? Yeah.
Sentinel 1.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. No, I have not even heard that symbol since when they report. It's the only time it gets talked about. That's a good looking breakout. Look at you, Sentinel 1. Nice looking trend to the upside. It actually just broke out on the daily today, trying to fill in what would be like a $3 gap, because I guess the gap would be to here, not to here, because that would be the opening price. I'm assuming this was earnings when it got dumped. March 13th. Yeah, probably. So Sentinel 1 looking very good. Oh, there's your problem. Overhead resistance. Might retrace that move there. So a good one there for you, Rivian Millionaire. Not sure why it's looking strong, but strong is strong.
Yeah, we should probably just forget about this. We want to talk about a stronger market. I'm trying to get out of 25% now for 10 cents worth of it. If this falls back into 70, 50, I'll take some out right there, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. This market is just ticking higher. We should have probably, that dip buy into VWAP right there, instead of chasing this market short, we could have been chasing names long. And if we would have, we already talked about NVIDIA and the damage that we've done long on this name. And we should have, that's $2, right? And so we could have stayed in the pocket there and just stuck with strong names. That's what we've been writing down about NVIDIA every day. If we're looking for longs, we might as well go long NVIDIA. So I feel like I don't feel like it. The market's telling me that was the right move. So, staying long. Here comes the futures, almost just broke out again to the top side. So that will all of a sudden fire off and we'll get stopped out once that does hit. Tesla breaking through 220. That could have been a long trigger as well at some point. So that was a spot. We're almost at the day's high again, though. 221 for Tesla coming back into play. So as this market goes, so go the strong stocks. We already looked at those Tesla, and that's good because that's kind of what we're trying to do is play strength and weaknesses. We just got a little bit sidetracked here with not much happening and us focusing on the futures when we should have just been futures long. I was trying to play this area here. We talked about where the risk was up into here. So that's what's happening right now. And we've taken risk and it hasn't really worked. Oh, it's worked. We're fine. But this last trade, probably getting stopped out, being a little bit stubborn. That's still Tesla, sorry. Being stubborn with that one. Here it comes right now. As soon as we take through, there it is. 61 is gone. So we will have to slap a fail on that last one there. And now just kind of wait. Lost a little bit there. Not really the end of the world. And as it pulls back in, I'm going to feel stupid because I'm going to be like, that was probably the top again. We already topped out right here before. And then it just absolutely crashed that down.
If we saw this already yesterday and pretty much almost every single day. At 350, whatever the move is, if you're looking for reversions, wait for the imbalances to give them to you. Like trend, whatever the stock is, trend up, trend down, imbalances come out, and then you get a bit of a reversion, especially on a Friday. So that might be the way to go here for looking for some fades. I might go into that, unless it's obvious, like this flat bottom break here, like this. Having these on. Unless it's obvious, like this flat bottom break here on Intel, or something, it's weak. If it breaks the bottom, it's got 20 minutes till the imbalances. Let's see if we can grab that, but it's not doing anything yet. I don't know that I want to chase any moves up. The play was NVIDIA off of VWAP. I think that's like the one thing that made a lot of sense that could have gotten done here. That MSTR is still going. Definitely looks pretty good. Scott Edwards, is anyone watching PRTG? That's that Portage stock. That's still going, Portage. This is the one that Sharif was on in the midday. Ooh, underneath VWAP. It's got a nice rounded bottom. We're doing that day one thing. Fails the top. Everyone forgets about it when it trends back into the downside, but then you look back and it holds the opening range bottom. holds it, actually runs some stops because it goes under, runs some stops because it goes under again, then holds that bottom. The problem with this is it's not breaking out the top. It's just kind of giving you the bounce play, which your risk to reward down here, if you just went long off those levels, you've got your 10% move with a couple of points worth of risk, and now you're just kind of hoping other people will punch long at the end of the day to give you a little bit more, which I would never want to be. Like over VWAP, fine, but under, kind of a no-go for me on PRTJ. That said, it is a reverse split and then first day breaking out, so there's always a chance there could be some continuation next week. Not that I would ever want to hold one of these types of stocks over a weekend. Easy way to have it come and gap back down and you lose all your profits.
Yeah, for sure. SOXL maybe. We just, Sector Watch. Okay. Maybe this will help us. Let's go over to Sector Watch and see if we can find something that's a little bit weaker or stronger.
We're going to take this time to look at some of these names making outsized moves on the S&P 500. And actually, the first one I have here is to the downside. It's Intuit. It's low here. Intuit is on here as well, but we do have low. LOW is the ticker for this one. Trading higher along with a lot of these housing and retail related names. We did get much stronger than expected new home sales data for July. 10.3% increase on a month-over-month basis compared to the expected 1% increase. So keep an eye on low. Here is Intuit as well, INTU. This one notably lower here on the day. They did beat on earnings, but so for earnings per share and revenue, but much lower than expected Q1 EPS estimate there, sitting INTU more than 6% to the downside. Last but not least, GM, General Motors. This one near high of days, up more than 4%. Its cruise segment here announcing a partnership with Uber with regards to deploying these autonomous vehicles on Uber's app as of 2025. So quite a few interesting names here to round up the week, guys.
Thank you very much. And the early look imbalances, Enbridge 1.5 buy. You already had Schwab, I think, is the same number. Yeah. It's still 1.4 to sell. Usually you'll get some updates at 3:30. Like the early numbers will come out, then they'll start updating every 5 or 10 minutes or so. That's not even happened yet. So these are still from 10 minutes ago. A little bit abnormal. I'm used to seeing an update at 3:30. We'll keep you apprised of anything. Could just be at 3:50. We'll get the real juice and we'll figure out where it's going to be. There was NVIDIA yesterday, 6 million to the sell side.
Sell. Yeah,
right, like that's
keep switching.
You know, like that's a big number on. It's like one day it's a buy and balance, one day it's a sell and balance, but it's usually very large on NVIDIA. I feel like that is the stock. If you're looking to hit something because an imbalance comes out one way or another, it is NVIDIA that gave you the opportunity. So nothing. We're not getting any kind of a head start with any of these names just yet.
Okay, market. Now you want to go down? Okay. All right. We'll see. What happens now? So what, Finch Jane, what's up to you there in the chat? I lost my butt yesterday, got it back today. Crazy market. You are not alone, I feel like, in that thought pattern there for this kind of market that we're in right now. Oracle, we talked about looking maybe potentially at some energy names. Oh, man. Oracle, again, yes. We had this play, or no, it was Qualcomm yesterday, I believe, that we had talked about. But again, this name looking like pretty top heavy, just fell out right now. So that's why it came on the scanner. I don't know why this just went like a little bit down there into the 50-period moving average. But Oracle, a little bit weaker than the market and at highs right now. Looking, again, kind of like everything to me looks like it's just been such a nice move back up that I'm always thinking lower. But the lower hasn't been right. So this is not something that, ooh, G got an assist. I like that one. And only punched one boy in the face so far. Okay. So that's nice. All right. So as we go down, Oracle coming back in 139.
Probably deserved it.
And change. Yeah, most likely deserved it for sure. I would say she hasn't put up with anybody. So that's really nice. Here we go. 139 coming down into the bottom. That could be a good trade. XOM, we're going to have Raider Trader on. He liked XLE. Maybe I'll call that up in just a second to see what's up with that. But XOM today up 1.32%. We also tweeted out yesterday that and I don't know what XLE is doing, but we had bought some yesterday. So I don't even remember the price. What percentage are we up right now? 1.4. So that's good. So a nice little win. Tweeted out yesterday that we had bought more. And we've been in XLE. I don't really buy individual names. I already have XOM from a minute and...
You've seen this one?
Enbridge. I mean, Enbridge is one that we've had for a while. Go over to Neil's screen. I mean, why is that always on the imbalance locator?
First of all, Enbridge is on the imbalance locator every single day. Just try to keep in mind, I should have said this, Enbridge is dual listed. It's in Canada. you always want to ignore any massive imbalance on a dual listed stock until you know that it's the same direction on both markets. Because what happens in dual listed names like TD Bank and Enbridge is it'll be a buy in one and it'll be a sell in the other, and then there's just a bunch of people that get chopped up while the algos are in love with all of the action that they get. But Enbridge, since earnings, you got a double top brewing, and everybody in Canada owns this thing to some extent. If you own like there's no ETF that you could possibly own in Canada. Not ETF, I mean like a mutual fund or whatever. You're probably in this sucker like the rest of us. But I own this one individually. It's trying to break out. Not the sexiest stock in the world, but
It's pretty sexy. It has a good dividend.
yeah, no, it's a sexy dividend stock, I should say. Yeah, so definitely a sexy dividend stock. So I did short the pop in Intel, which was a whopping, it went from 38 to 47 back to 40, and maybe it's going to do this flat bottom break, but it still hasn't happened yet. So it has now held the same low for 35 minutes and still looking for it to break down. So I did get some in here. We'll just get on the bid at the low because, I mean, if it's going to hold a bid for 39 minutes, you should probably take some out on that bid, because if it never breaks and you get absolutely nothing, the low of the day not the low of the day, the local bottom sits here at about 31, 32, so I'll have a bid down there as well. Intel is a name that often has an imbalance that will pair off. Almost never stays. It's the kind of stock that, whatever, like if it has $1 million, it's only $20. So it's nothing for that one to get paired off. Like NVIDIA is an expensive stock. It's $128. When that comes out $6 million, that's a chunk of change. When Intel comes out $1 million, that's like Brankel's buying power or something like that.
Brankel, that guy's a lot of buying power.
Right, Brankel's? He doesn't even listen to me. Set Lewis at Catan is too much of a fun game.
Neil just said you have unlimited buying power. So
unlimited power.
Unlimited. Put it in the market. All right, so the market's coming down a little bit. Now we're back in the winners, 30 cents in the money as we start to come down and bring the pain a little bit here at the end of the day. So it's a nice move back in. Let's go as we're coming in for the TQs one more time, back into the 50-period moving average. We talked about where that risk area was here on the NASDAQ, and it was right into here, man. That's the daily chart. No, my bad. We don't want that. It was right into up here. That's where we got stopped out last time. So now we hold it a little bit to come back in. A good little opportunity there. All right. It's back on, baby. And I reviewed the script. Trade real money, gain real experience, guys. Kickstart your career in the capital markets. Learn to trade from professionals here at Real Trading. This is the campus program. You can apply completely for free. There's it's realtrading.com/campus. You can just scan the QR code below and learn all about it, man. What you're going to do is join an exclusive community of like-minded individuals. What does that mean? Join a community of traders looking to scalp and make money as a trader trading props. So other people's capital, always a pretty safe way to go. Learn how to trade, use the same platform that Neil and I are using every single day. There's multiple phases here to help guide you through, including going live trading at the end of your training period. So you got to sort of go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and that handsome gentleman that you always see behind us, his name is Brankles, and he will be taking on the lead of this program. So we're really proud of that, and that means it's going to be a huge success. So again, there's Brankles. You can't really.
He's there.
But anyways, that means we, definitely worth supporting, and we're proud to have that back here on our floor.
You down with OPC?
Yeah, you down with other people's capital. That's right, I am for sure. And we're down with shorting the NASDAQ right now.
Definitely
That's
easier
what we're
to trade
doing
other people's capital
right now, but that was what that was, other people's capital. All right, $70.35. We'll see if that comes through. There's the 50-period moving average. There is VWAP. Let's go to the downside here. But remember, we do have the imbalances coming in 12 minutes. So that's on a Friday of Jackson Hole, of extreme volatility, I feel like. Up 1%, down 1%. What was it down yesterday? Can't remember. But anyways, at the end of the day, up and down, multiple percentage
points.
points.
The NASDAQ 1.7, but the ES... I don't remember what the S&P was down. It was the NASDAQ was like 1.6 something.
Yeah, so
there
could be some imbalances coming through.
ES was down less than the NASDAQ.
Timon says, I'm not selling.
There was a question in the chat. The reason why the campus program starts in Canada is because this floor is the head office floor for Real Trading. So this is where everything is. We got the back office support. So, anything starts, it's going to start here. And it's all going to start with Obi trying to make that putt.
Obi, did you make that putt? Let me see. Here. Oh, he did not. We're hearing.
Why can't we see?
The form doesn't look the greatest there.
Wow, that's cold.
Boom! Oh yeah! That's just a little bit of Happy Gilmore action there. Much better, Obi. I like that one. But there it is. As we go to Obi, the real trading. We keep talking about that real trading campus, real trading our platform. There goes the cues. Boom to the downside right now. So I mean, yeah, sure, we did get stopped out. We always do this, man. But now we've got it. So we still got a good position on here into the close. Let's see if it continues to pump our way and the right way. So here we go, starting to keep going up to the upside. To the downside comes the market. We just took some out. We said 50 period. Our next stop is hopefully VWAP. Let's take out a little bit more if we get down to that. That's at roughly 15s. Let's put a bid at 20s or so and just take out like 20% of what we have left. So we'll bid right now 20s. We're bidding 21s. If that comes through, then we will try to get that out. So that's what we're going to do. Sit on the bid here. Hopefully it runs us over a little bit and we'll be able to get that fill. Every time we sit on the bid and get hit, we get paid for that trade. So we'll get paid roughly $2. It's a little bit less than that, I think. 1.6, like $1.60 per 1,000 shares. So it's not a whole heck of a lot, but it sure does help us sort of handle the fees and all these in and out transactions. I often see people, and that's real trading, right? So
yeah, the way to think about it is this. It never seems like a lot, but there's think of it as 20 trading days in a month, and then over the course of a year, you have 240 trading days. So if you do save on your fees by adding liquidity, maybe it's $20, $30 a day. That adds up really, really quick. And there's some traders out there who just ignore that and they don't even care. They don't, they'll have entitlements for markets they don't look at, or they'll just sit there and use whichever gateway. But if you do consciously think about it, you are in the long run going to put extra bank in your pocket. Now, obviously, this applies to anyone with direct market access. It can access multiple gateways. That way you can sit and earn a rebate. Not all of them are going to pay. Sometimes you pay for adding liquidity. So not every broker is going to have that. I don't want to sit there and say that everyone has the ability to earn rebates on every gateway. We can, because real trading has pretty much every gateway out there. Only 9 minutes to go. No breakout for NVIDIA through 129. No flat bottom break yet on INTC. DJT, for those that are interested, did not, in fact, bounce off of VWAP. So that didn't try to make that move back up. In fact, it's headed even lower. This ends up being a disappointment, I would say, for anybody that took that long. I got to double check Rivian here. Okay, good. Whatever. No, I shouldn't bet against this stock. Rivian went all the way to $14.08 was the high. Still the high. Now back in through 14 even. So that ended up not being a good breakout at all, regardless of when you took it. And then Lucid didn't do anything either. So hang on to anything that was short. Sometimes all you can do is try to short the next level down, because you're not going to get the first one. But this will be probably the last spot where I take anything here. Unless I find something that I like and nothing's setting up, going to hang on to the Intel short. And when 350 hits, I'm going to be on an NVIDIA level 2. And just as quickly as possible, if it's a massive buy, I want to try to find myself into a long. If it's a massive sell, I want to try and punch in to the short. So you have to, in order to do that, the algos are going to get the first part of the move regardless. To be as fast as you can, you got to be on that level 2 with your hands on, in the ready position or the gamer position, ready to punch. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But that's the stock I'll be looking at when the imbalances drop in 7 minutes.
Yeah. GG, great day.
Just out of curiosity,
cut right there, messaging me here. Yeah.
How often does Gia throw down? Like, you saying she punched?
Well, they don't fight. You just, if someone's in her way,
you know what
push
I mean.
them out of the way.
Yeah.
She's an elite skater, and she's great size. And Marissa's even telling me right now that some of these dads are like, they can't believe how rough she is out there. So that's what it's about. Well, because she trains with boys.
Exactly.
So
yeah, exactly.
It's just like, she's just like, get the hell out of my way, straight up, all the time. All right, so there it is. Like, she's.
The thing is, I still picture.
She pulls out my heartstrings like all the time.
I just picture little Gia.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, when you
saw her here the other day.
I know, but it's like when you've been around when someone is like born and they're like a baby and a toddler.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get that image out of your head. And like now that Gia's like throwing elbows at people.
It was her birthday, 10th birthday. right there. So there she is. There, that was just a couple weeks ago. There's Adam DeLuz, by the way. Hey, what's up, Adam DeLuz? There he is.
Adam?
Never losing, Adam DeLuz. Right there. Shout out to Adam. That was in London. Here's the team that we're going to go. This is my team right here. That's me. This is Gia right here. And the rest of the team getting ready to go. That was a tournament, I believe, in Brockville when we were there over the summertime. Don't know who this guy is. This is me and my guy a whole bunch, long time ago when we were playing baseball. My number was 6. He was 6.5 right now. Now he's 12 years old. Almost said 13.
Shout out to Simon Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Here's that trophy that we won. Here's me right here. Here's the Royal York. Oh, no, that's the Ancaster team right there. And as you can see, literally 4 feet, like top to bottom there. The girls.
That is absurd.
Yeah, there it is right there. I think I had my phone there trying to take that little video there. So that's what that is. Here's the whole family going to. I want to find. Oh, there's Mr. Wonderful. What's up? There's my son right there. Oh, here we go. Me and my daughter here going to go get Starbies right there. So, you know, Green Bay Packers. We wore that hat yesterday. All right, that's enough of that. Let's go back over. Find me at TraderTVSean on Instagram.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, look, you talk about family, and look what happens. Nice downside move here in the key cues. Put a bid out and get some out at 10, my guy. Nice little trade there. Boom, out at 10s. All right. Again, we are right back. We don't show our net, but again, like we're right back to the highest level pretty much we've been at since we started going crazy there in the morning off that early short. So we started the day red. We'll figure out what's happening right now with this TQQ position. But we said where the stops were, man. First stop here, next stop there, next stop here, next stop, 200 period moving average. The fall down is real. And we have it. We have it all. We have this move. And there it goes, collapsing in finally. Futures, you know, Sharif always talks about he's not here right now, but don't let these stocks off the ropes. We didn't really do that with the futures, but again, look at that. We did not have a bid there. Oh, no. We just said next stop 200 period.
Yeah.
Look where it stops, literally, as they say, at the 200 period.
Figuratively at the, no, literally. Literally at the 200. When it wicks off that one line, it's
Down
just like,
again.
you've got to be kidding me. Just got the last fill. This is going to be it till NVIDIA potentially in 3 minutes and the imbalances.
There we go.
I'm not reloading. This one's done for me. I'm not reloading it. It's a simple VWAP play. And like I said, until this stops doing this, where it gets to VWAP and gives you some kind of a short trade, it wasn't that great 2 days ago. It held VWAP. But when it's a downward move in Intel and it bounces off of VWAP, you generally want to short the sucker in the afternoon. It's right down to the bottom. I got a bid down here. It's actually up on the day, Intel, because it closed at 20 bucks. But this is why I say this every time. I have a certain like disdain for only looking at the percentage of what a stock is up. Because do you think this was bullish today when the market is, like when the market looks like this, and it's, you know, a little bit higher from the open, but more of a chop fest, and that's the NASDAQ, and yours chart looks like this, then you had a bad day. Even if you're up 1%, you'll read something on like CNBC or something. Intel with a 1% gain on blah, 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 when really all the thing did is sell off all day long. Like, let's be real. What did the money do during the session? That's what we're about here. Like, what's actually happening in the stock, not just what did it close at and what did it open at. So last trade, until we get the imbalances, no reload. I'm going to trail it out just above break even, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now and change the trailing stop as it gets closer to the end of the day. Well, let's just see what happens with NVIDIA. I'm going to double check some crypto names just out of curiosity because they were the bigger movers as well. MSTR's underneath 150 and starting to pull back. I bet you Mara lost that 19.5 or 16.5, 18.5 level. No, it did not. Mara is still above 18.5. This is looking pretty strong. There'll be some regrets with the crypto names today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
they're just been so strong. We said that earlier. They were holding 61. I mean, we literally wrote it down, man. We talked about this earlier. BTC holding 61K must go long. I mean, it was.
It's more this breakout. Like it's not very often that you look at a stock like this where you have the morning high be $18, like 18.00, and then it bounces off of 18.00, and then it breaks 18. Like this on this 15-minute chart, like how gorgeous that long is. And you probably can stop it with like 10 cents worth of risk if you look at that local bottom. It's not often where you'll see levels like that or breakout trades like that, especially on a stock that you like trading. So I just pulled up NVIDIA here. I don't know which direction the imbalance is going to come out. One can only guess, but I'm not going to do any guessing. I'm just going to try to see ball, hit ball. And if you miss the initial move, I'm not going to chase it. If it's a big sell and bounce and I punch and miss, then that's fine. I'm not going to chase any move like $1 or something.
Yeah, we were able to get out there. So we didn't get that very bottom, but we were able to get O's there. We did not get that bottom of 80s, but it does come back in. We get O1s or O2s there as we start to go back up and we get lighter and lighter on this. Here's the imbalance locator. You're now 45 seconds away from an updated push, right? So that's when we're going to get it all, and then we'll see what happens. Our stop is still the same. Well, you know what? I mean, we could actually, maybe we should just stop out here, $70.50. I was going to give this a little bit more room. Let's just make sure we make some money on it. 70. Let's go the high side, $70.66. We'll get out to 75% of it if it does break in just a couple seconds. We've seen this happen too many times. Imbalances come out, stock just blows up because they're all buys, right? So we'll have to wait to see if that does happen. We can also get back into the other side. So we do have some lower bids. I'm in the 90s here in case it does come back down in. And then we can also trade up NVIDIA because that's been a big mover sometimes as well. 2 and 1, we're going to find out right now. Looks like NVIDIA is going upside.
Buy.
Looks like a nice buy. Look at that nice little move up there. There's NVIDIA, 2.61 million to buy. So there's the
Look at the paired.
The shoot up, 11 million there. So that's about a total of 13 or so million, 14 million. There's the move up. There's the move back down. So it's not that many shares.
No.
It is like enough to move the stock, obviously. But when you're looking at day's number there, 270 million on the day. So not huge. I'm going to take a bid on the TQs here. We are short 65s. It just fell back in a little bit. So actually we get that fill at 17. Let's put another bid down in the teens again, lower in 13, 14. Maybe we get a little bit of a push back in right now on that. Adair just said the market was roughly 1.5 billion to buy. So Mag 7, 425 million of that. So I feel like that's a lot of that is going to be NVIDIA. So if there's a buy, generally speaking, like there's Apple, so that's going up. Ooh, Robinhood, we have over 20. Wow, okay, that was a good call actually on Robinhood being along over at $15, $16.
Robinhood's at what?
Yeah, 21 and change. All right, there's NVIDIA is still pushing. So the market's still pushing higher. It's a good thing we got some out down there at that bottom just before that imbalance, or just as the imbalance came out, we get that 17s. But we're pretty light on this position overall. So we'll hold it out. If it does come up, great. If not, let's put another bid in the 20s or so, just trying to get some out. I feel like this could flip the other way. We want to make sure we have something on board if and when that does flip and get a lower bid. Like I said, $70 and change is where I'm sort of targeting, but who knows?
Yeah, so I trailed out there at 40s, had the 43 short. It got down, like the lowest was like 32. You really just got to load up at VWAP, I think. The missed opportunity on a trade like this was, for the first time, I was actually long into VWAP. And that's the problem. Like I got out and I was like, wait a minute, it just tagged VWAP. I should just be getting out of the long and looking short. But I never entered the short until it started breaking down. This was a chance to accumulate. You know, if you like it, you should be accumulating, and I guarantee you it's because I was long that I didn't want to do it. Some strong movers at the end of the day, including Tesla holding 220. So good look on Tesla above 220. This is what, shout out to Danielle Shea, because I think she said the important thing, and we'll see what happens next week, the important thing for Tesla on this retest and this pullback that we just had was, can it hold on to the 50-period moving average? And that was right around, it's about 217.5, but it got right in there, and this is where it broke out. Like if you look at the 15-minute, like this little break, so consolidation at the bottom, it's trend down, trend down, trend down. That's the turn, and that's the 50-period moving average on the daily chart, and then you're going to close higher. So bullish looking here for Tesla and the overall market. It does seem late in the day. I mean, if you close holding gains, that's typically a good thing. You always like to see buyers not evaporate at the end of the day or at the end of a week.
All right. So NVIDIA still having that bid. I mean, that could be something here to watch out for as we go right back into the highs of this afternoon. NVIDIA right now going on that bid. So we're not gonna sleep on that, man. I mean, it's still been strong ever since we've seen, keep going. I just said that wasn't that many shares, but it's gotten bigger. Remember, it was like 2 million. Now it's 4 million. That volume was only 13 or so before. Now it's up to 15. So there are traders adding to this move right now. We just have to wait another minute and a half until it gets to 355, and then we'll see if this goes the other way. You'll get a major update at 355. So some orders just come piling in there, and a lot of this will get turned around. It's nice to see Ford trying to get going again. That had that nice little bottom, I believe, around 11, maybe it was 1020, something like that. Ooh, it went into 950 there. Wow. All right, nice move up for Ford. Wow, over the last couple of days, as we've seen some of these other EV names really start to go as well. Other than that, though, I feel like we're still fine. Just canceling orders. The only thing we have in for is those TQs. And with now just a couple minutes to go, oh no.
NVIDIA has 360,000 on the offer at 29 here.
Oh, NVIDIA does. Okay, yeah, go over to Neil's screen. I'm just going to watch these TQs and see if they pair off or not.
So I have to watch the imbalance because the imbalance is 3 million, but there's a big wall at 129. My gut is that we're going to have a pair here. It's 2.7 million. The paired volume is 113 million. So the most of this is already paired off. That's the difference. Like yesterday, the imbalance was like 40 to 45% of the paired volume. Today, that's a much smaller percentage, although it just got bigger going into the. Now it's 4 million to the buy side with only about 5 seconds to go when this might pair off. It's not a guarantee, but usually that's what you see. 129 is now gone in NVIDIA. Okay, so no update, no update, no update. Now it's 2.6 million to sell, so it did not go completely, but it did pair. Now down to 2.6, so it's still a buy imbalance, but it's not gigantic relative to that pair. Now 16 paired to a 2.4 million and declining a little bit. Not enough to want to go short this sucker, but certainly enough that I wouldn't chase that long there because it is getting paired off in there. There's sellers that are coming in to take that imbalance on NVIDIA. So if you had it off the break, I was looking for a number a little bit closer to 4, 5, 6 million to hit the key. It ended up being 2, and then it grew. So if you just went long, trusting that 2 million sell as being big enough on NVIDIA, you are absolutely rewarded for it. NVIDIA, the stock, is just ripping faces off and saying what up to the shorts day after day after day. Just a buy the dip kind of stock. But it's not really breaking out that 130 high or anything. Good move on the imbalances if you were looking for something in that 2 mil range. I wasn't.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we already we did a blotter refresh there, so I think I screwed up my blotter a little bit here. Okay, I see how many shares we have, all good. All right, so we are short the TQs again, so we're just going to have to start to bid some out here as we go. The market is falling down a little bit here. We are lucky enough to sort of not have that rip all the way to the high side there, as now it's starting to fall back in, and we'll just put a little bit more on the board here and get some out. We are short right now at 54s as we continue to watch out. NVIDIA, like Neil said, up to 129. Ford continues to go as well. But the market's almost over. What was a crazy day today, man? I mean, that's still Ford. What am I doing? Let's go back over to maybe just watch NVIDIA here. What's Apple going to do at the end of the day?
NVIDIA is a meme stock.
I believe Apple's 227. That's really nice. Yeah, NVIDIA is a meme stock. I mean, love NVIDIA here. Once you get going on it, it's just nuts. Even that punch out that we had there, it still went down to VWAP and respected it, then goes down to the 200. Like, almost like technically a perfect stock to trade.
Everybody wants. It used to be that, I go to my barber, like, so, people that find out what you do, and the casual questions are, should I be buying Bitcoin? Like, that's what it used to be. Yeah. And now it's just, what about this NVIDIA? That's all anybody wants to own at this point. And when I'm like, I usually tell people, okay, you probably own it. Because I'm like, what are you in? Like, you're in this fund, that fund. Like, does it have U.S. stock? You own NVIDIA. This is how much you probably have if you own something like SPY or Qs along those lines. So it's definitely the flavor. In the afternoon, if it's above VWAP, just go long. I think that's the lesson that we have here for this stock. You can tell when it's strong versus when it's weak. Usually, look at it fail VWAP, and then it just tumbles. When it holds VWAP, it runs. Today, it was a runner here on NVIDIA. 2 minutes to go. I'm canceling all my orders. Nothing to be had here. Wow, Microsoft went green. Okay, that's a little surprising.
What a run at the end of the day, up 1.07%.
Microsoft was a dog all day, most of the day, and then look at it break that trend and going to close the day green. Yeah, that's a pretty big rally. This is not a stock. This morning, this felt like it was going to be a repeat of yesterday on them, and Meta not having the same fate. Meta's actually much weaker here. Worth noting, both those names stunk yesterday. Meta is holding at the lows while the market's trying to go higher.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so we're flat. So we just took, just got out there. We were just going back and forth with TQs. Nothing really happened. We were able to take a little bit of advantage of that at the end of the day. So yeah, so far so good here. We'll end of the day. I'm going to go over and join Adara over there at the desk and get going ASAP because we should have Raider Trader on. I don't know. I caught him by surprise there yesterday.
Yeah, but
so
he said yes. Didn't he?
Yeah. He did. He said yes.
Yeah, he said yeah. I mean,
Okay, have a good weekend. I'm out of here.
have a great one. Hey, good luck at the game. I mean, try to protect those boys from Gia. We don't want them to.
My wife's already messaged.
Okay, good. Yeah, you got to make sure you do that.
Out of here.
We got 1 minute to go in here. Let me just get on the NVIDIA chart, 'cause let's take it on home with the best of the best. While everyone looks at the rest of them, we'll have a look at the best of them. Right now, NVIDIA, let's see if it can chase the high of the day here, 129.65. Let's see if it can get going up to that top. It's an absolute rocket ship, 4.4%. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Roger, if tomorrow's data is bullish, squeeze face ripper. If next week's data on NVIDIA holds up, unbelievable. But don't forget, the expectations are so high for NVIDIA on Wednesday. It's always difficult to live up to them, though they just seem to do it over and over and over again. I'm just worried about what happens the day that they don't meet those expectations. So Adara, it's been a fun one. Let's ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. That was a little loud. That was definitely a little bit to the loud side. That's okay. We enjoy it. The market is now closed. The wild week is over. The NASDAQ does a 1% job today and change. The ES does exactly 1% as well. So today, the ES is just as strong as the NASDAQ. It means we probably missed something. Oh, energy, probably a little bit of the banks as well. I'm going to guess why they're both up 1% there. So a pretty strong day as well. Did you just say tan in my ear? I don't know. Oh, tan and uranium are up today. Really? Tan stinks usually. Oh, yeah, good. The tan is actually having a strong day today, so good for them. I know they're going to go over this as well. First off, big shout out to Fabian and Ramin. Thank you for the Kit Kat, Ramin. That was very nice of you. Making us look and sound fantastic every single day, bringing you guys a great show. And then a big shout out to Sharif, Adara, and Obi filling in for Adara on the midday today. Your Learn to Trade, support and resistance using moving averages, another fantastic lesson. Big shout out to everyone in our community and our chat. And of course, big shout out to my man Sean. Brennan on vacation. He's actually not back next week. He's got 2 weeks he's going to be on vacation. But you know what you got to do here, which is just sit back, relax, chill, because it's not over yet. It's been a fun week. It's been a good week, but you still have a little bit more. You get Sean, you get Adara, you get Raider, you get the Aftermarket recap show about now.
Keep yawning every time. This is the second Friday in a row it comes to me and I yawn. Hello, happy market recap, everyone. How are you doing today, Sean?
We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We're ready to go here. As Neil said, we just have a half hour left, and at this show, we will recap the market. We'll talk about some of the trades. We have our little fun stuff to do. We'll talk about the sticky note. We'll talk about some of these names that continue to move here, not only in the aftermarket. I mean, today, normally we've got earnings. Obviously, on a Friday, there won't be much. We can sort of dissect what was going on there today at Jackson Hole and what that meant when Fed Chair Powell came. We also had Fed Goolsbee on the 1s and 2s today as well.
And 3s, because he spoke 3 times.
That's right. I think he might have spoke even more than that, I feel like. There was Harker, I think, was coming through.
Yeah, Harker wasn't even scheduled. Like, when I was doing the email, he wasn't supposed to speak, and all of a sudden we get Harker, so good times.
Yeah, Powell noted that the time has come for interest rate cuts. The time has come, but he did not provide a timeline or a hint at any of the size of the cuts. But if you see right here, the NASDAQ kind of loved all of that talk. So we actually have to, I don't know why this is on a daily chart here. Let's flip it over to a 3-minute chart just to get a quick little look. So here's the prepared remarks from Powell. Comes out, just absolutely blasts off. Once he leaves and sort of says his little speech there, it's only 20 minutes, comes all the way back down in. The market definitely finds the base at yesterday's close down here at 476. Basically turning, not turning red, but coming close to turning flat on the day right there, and then just took off into the close. A nice little action spot there as we get a buy imbalance into the close. So there it is right there from 350 all the way back up, taking out 480, basically closing at the day's high. And if you're going to go over to the NASDAQ, I mean, wow, hold the 50 period and start keep going. There's been a lot of stock that have had a huge move up from that moment. I mean, I feel like NVIDIA today up 4.5%, still trying to go. We've actually, live on this show, man, we talked about uranium, and Michael Noss was like, Sean, you talked about getting long this name at $25. We didn't even do that. Now it's at 26 and change. Uranium continues to go higher right there. As there was some note there, I don't know, was it Kazakhstan or somewhere? Where one of the uranium
Prom. It's like the largest, it's in Kazakhstan, it's the largest uranium producer.
Right.
Setting production targets.
They're having some problems there with some of the materials, so that sends the price of uranium upside, which gives a lot of love to some of these stocks. We talked about CCJ. If you're going to buy one of them, you might as well buy this. CCJ up 5 today, as well as Cameco continues that move higher. Yeah, what a hectic day it was. You are right, Joshua Lee Malloy, as that just keeps on going to the upside there. We have some big earnings for next week to keep in mind, with NVIDIA coming through and CrowdStrike. So there's a few different names, and Lulu, if you want to get involved in that.
Dow, and CRM.
And CRM, that should be a fun one as well. If you were a bear today, fail, I guess. I mean, wheat and UNG right now, the only two red sectors that I'm seeing right now, Adara. And I feel like as we talk about rate cuts, IWM, look at this one. Wow, big pop up here, big pop up pump. Scott Steiner, I don't know if you know anything about wrestling or anything.
I do not.
You're not, okay, that's fine. Steiner Brothers.
Even a little bit.
That's okay. He's basically this guy that's like juiced up like crazy. Wait till you see a picture. Go find me a picture, Fabian, of Big Papa Pump. I want to show it to everybody. The one where he has the chainmail on his head. Go find that from WCW days. Crazy. Okay, I don't know. Hold on a second, Ramin, in just a couple seconds here. We go with SMH to the upside, KRE. So some of the names, the interest rate sensitive names upside today, including KRE. That's the regional banks. Nice move up 5.8%. Breaking out again. These are daily charts, right? Near the highs. You want to talk about the breadth of the market? We talked about utilities, industrials, XLV at highs as well. KRE bouncing. Uranium, interest rate sensitive spots, right? TAN. We had, wasn't Ryan Faluna, was the individual from Mumu, Justin. He came out and talked, yeah, exactly, Zach's, talked all about TAN and some sectors that could possibly be hot if we got a Democratic win come 71 days from now. So if that happens, that would be a nice beneficiary of them with renewable energies. And again, oil, there it is. The chainmail there, that's Big Papa Pump. Why do you think he has that nickname?
Because he's pumping some iron.
He pumps up some iron. Yeah, he pumps up some iron there. He puts like the wrestlers. He starts lifting. It's pretty crazy. Go watch that. But yeah, chainmail on the head. Supposed to look more dangerous. There look there, Big Papa Pump. Put that up again, man. No one even saw that. There it is, Big Papa Pump. If you're wondering like what exactly we're talking about there. All right, let's get out of here. All right, USO, not get out of here. Yeah, we should be having Radar Trader in about 10 minutes or so to come on. And I'm going to talk to him about some of these sectors and some of these moves. But USO downside, just yesterday I bought some XLE. I like that stock as well. Again, this is the Energy Select Sector Fund. Just bouncing off, holding that 200 period and trying to go back up. We just bought this yesterday. It's for long term, man. I'm just trying to diversify a little bit and go through. Obviously, ARC has had a minute, man. ARC right there on that deadly Monday down to $37, all the way back up to $47. Put $10 on 37. This name up almost 25% in just 2 weeks. ARC to the high side, led by a lot of Tesla. I mean, Tesla's had a nice bounce back as well. Other names such as Clover and some of these beat up names continue to report well. I believe it was Raider, and we'll talk to him about this when it comes through. Some of the weaker names, so some of the lower cap names in IWM and whatnot could retrace a little bit stronger than others. I mean, look at this name, kind of undercover too. Clover Healthcare, insider buying, CEO buying some shares, and look at this. Boom goes the dynamite on Clover. $2 breaking to $3.37. Clover continues to be that winner as well. Holla if you hear me. All right, it's a Big Papa Pump thing there as well. Berkshire, you know what, man? You don't have to fool around. You could just put your money with the richest of the rich and buy BerkB. Berkshire right now as well, breaking the top. Again, big insurance names there. Apple, although I know they've cut their position, Apple gone. Berkshire right now still making new highs and continuously growing that company. Insurance, big banks, the name of the game there for Berk. Remember, they recently just bought Ulta Beauty as well, so that could be another one.
Ulta reports next week.
Okay, Alta coming with next week report. So if you do think that maybe someone knows something, this could be one of them names. We did have PanW come. That was a nice report as well. We saw that earlier on in the week, blasting up to 370, trying to get above that high, but does not yet. Fails and now moving back in. Whenever you get a name that basically touches highs and pulls back, now you look for areas to hold for support. 340 or so for PanW. I think we like that play for a little level of interest. MSOS has been a dog for sure. I think there's a lot of traders that thought the weed business would be bumping with some of this talk come election season. We really haven't seen any of that, so very, very choppy here. Relative strength ETF right here, the RSP. So equal weighted. We talked about this. Everyone gets a vote. So Apple doesn't get 10 votes. Everybody gets 1 vote in RSP right now. Huge move again to the upside and starting to break out. So much strength everywhere. I saw you hop into the midday talk about Eli Lilly, but look at this. Nice move right here. 150 breaking higher on XLV. That name continues to go. Its largest constituent, Eli Lilly, who at Dara right now is at the highs. That is Eli Lilly at 950 right now. Did you miss trading at all today, or?
I did really miss trading. I have to tell you though as well, Eli Lilly, that 950 is a really, really interesting level for me. It's interesting on the daily chart. We've interacted with quite a lot on an intraday basis. So when I saw we were closing near 950, I said, Dara, if we get a milli next week in volume, you might be trading some Lilly. So just because the stock is almost $1,000 doesn't mean there can't be opportunities if volume sets up, especially with all these catalyst positive studies. We had earnings recently, lots of analyst upgrades. So anything can be on watch if the level set up is what I'm really trying to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it is all about levels. And then you wait for the catalyst to sort of break those levels or fall back into those levels as well. Just quickly here, Walmart. I thought this was going to be a story of Walmart today a little bit, and the retail sector being a little down there. But then Walmart at the end of the day just said, no, thank you. Hold this beer, and we'll go up 0.16%. Let's take this opportunity right now to look over at a stock heat map and try to find maybe some names that have been a little cool today because everything was up. This is the most interesting name. We actually identified this earlier, Meta. I don't know if there was a situation with Meta or what. Maybe you can find out if there was a story, Adara, but Meta right now down 0.74. Let me take that opportunity to have a quick look. I tried to get out of. Yeah.
This came up 11:15. Meta cancels their high-end mixed reality headset. They were already kind of rangy and weak by that point, but this was reported at 11:15 by the information. Also, like 5 minutes earlier, apparently, Meta and Spotify CEOs are criticizing AI regulation in the EU. That's reported by TechCrunch. So a couple maybe bearish stories coming out, but they were already weak before then.
Baby, you mind grabbing my water there? It's on the desk. We could do some little Hydration Nation moments coming through here. Yeah, I just look at a daily chart for Meta, and the thing about Meta is, I mean, look at what's happening here. We're topping out near the highs. There's not too many names. Again, we showed a lot of ETFs, but as far as the Mag 7 names go, I do not really see many names right now trying to break through the top. We've seen NVIDIA come back into 125 and say, thank you very much. That was Fabian. I'll take a drink of this in a minute. We'll take a drink. But right there, Meta near the highs. So that could be a little reason for that pullback there in Meta. All right, back over there, MasterCard down 0.51. So there's a little bit of weakness there. Procter & Gamble down 0.58. Just looking around, what is this? Intuit, ZTS, okay. Zoetis, I believe that is. Pet Care, I think. But basically just Meta. What is this name? Down here, MMC, okay. McCormick, I believe, downside there as well. AON, and then finally coming in, CME Group downside. Why is that? Maybe there was a report there as well. And who is this in the chip space? Micron. All right, so Micron not having a day today. That's a nice little downside push. Micron was the one name that I feel like it gets so hot. And then I always think about it like, they're never mentioned in the same, because it's DRAM. It's not these graphic cards. That is the hot thing to go right now. See you, Fabian. Have a great weekend. But look at Micron really coming back in. We talked about Meta. We talked about NVIDIA being near the highs. Obviously, AMD. You know what AMD's high was?
All time?
Yeah.
Like around 230, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's say 233, I'm going to guess.
We'll take it. I was going to say 220s and change. But right there, so we did get that wick up to 227, so we'll split the difference on that.
We will. We'll see.
But the idea behind this is they're not all built the same. AMD continuously making this move down, man. We're still not above this 160. Until we get above the 160, I cannot stamp a buy on that. We have to wait for AMD to slow down. But what I mean by that is look at Micron, downside as well. Look at names like Broadcom since the split, right? Back up, trying to get back higher. bounces off the 200 period. Broadcom holding out well. NVIDIA also holding out well. So if you pick your poison the right way, I feel like there's a lot of money to be made, even in sectors that have been outpacing the rest of the market, like SMH. Look at ARM. If there's going to be a name that I'm not in that I think we need to get some exposure in, it could be ARM. You know, they're in everything apparently. And if cell phones and whatnot continue that push, maybe ARM. Like, they have all the patents. My whole thing is that it's kind of like with Qualcomm. When Apple starts doing their own chips, which they're already doing, they're in the iPads and I believe the MacBooks. Well, what happens when they start getting rid of the Qualcomm Snapdragon or whatever it is in some of these Apple phones? It's not just Apple. This can go on for everything. They're all developing their new chips. We've seen Google do that as well. So part of it, I worry about that with ARM. I'd like to find out what SoftBank's holdings still are with ARM, because I feel like that's definitely something that's been pretty key to look at. We do going to have Raider Trader in just a couple minutes. That should be a lot of fun. He had indicated on our show before, looking at some AMC, some GameStop. We could potentially talk to him about that. And then next week's earnings as well. Is there anything that maybe Andrew is excited to look at? That'd be NVIDIA, Crowd, Dell, Lulu, and CRM. So we'll talk about that. And then again, I remember quite clearly, we were just on the show talking about this. Look at this break here. Look at this line that we've drawn a long time ago on KRE, right? Bouncing off, hitting that breakout. What a great move. Then coming in, respecting, breaking out. This is an interest rate story. We had the CME Fed rate tool up. It's 65%. We could check it again. It was 65% for a quarter point, 35% for half a point. So we'll see. If they get the Fed rate cut, 25, I think that's the more healthy cut. The reason why, they've been going quarters back and forth, well, just up. Hopefully this time they go down. If they slash half a point right now, that might fear monger some traders. Just like maybe the economy's worse than we thought. Why are they doing half? It was always supposed to be a quarter. So we'll wait for that date to come. But next Wednesday is what's going to be exciting, and it is going to be NVIDIA earnings. Let's get this party started right now. It's Trader Talk. Hello, Andrew.
Look at these two wonderful traders in the building.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Adara and yourself. Two wonderful traders.
I excluded you, Sean. My bad.
Right. That's all. I mean, that's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. And what an exciting Friday. There they are. Hey, Dara, there. You should just, there's a Dara and a Raider. We've lost our ways here on a Friday, Andrew, but we're here to talk about stocks and have some fun at the same time as well. What's your go-to Friday night munchie food? Let's start off right now with that. I like tacos.
I've been always a big pizza guy. You know how I am with pineapple pizza sometimes. You know, Neil has some strong opinions against that. Right. But typically I do go for, some southern food. I like some chips con queso. I whip it out, Yesterday I had some tacos and I plan to have some tonight too. So
yeah, you look very Spanish over there. So shout out to Raider Trader. Yeah, we love that queso, man. I like that. Gets a little Chipotle action going on there. Look, you nailed some of these calls, man. What about that IWM? We were just talking about that. Good retracement back up. Any thoughts about this as we get that sort of all clear from Powell today on Jackson Hole? Anything you take away from anything that happened today in the market?
Yeah, so especially today, we saw a lot of those, like you said, rate-sensitive names pop. We saw KRE, regional banks. Those are very rate-sensitive, as well as some Soars. We saw ENPH, FSLR having, 5% days. In a lot of these rate-sensitive names, again, we've kind of been hitting a bunch of these names that you guys need to be looking at these opportunities moving forward. And more specifically, I mean, with the markets right now, you're going to get there is bearish seasons into September, but there are some easy money trades to the long side, and those often are just a little quick hack for you guys moving forward. Sure. And you can write this down. For anyone who's looking to see easy money trades right now, go look at stocks, get a screener or something, go pull up your screener, go look for stocks that are nearing or breaking their 52-week highs. Right. Those are going to be like your solar names, CAVA, even LTH, CART, even if you look at CAVA today, these IPO style names, these 52-week high names that are breaking out, they're all going to start doing really well.
I was even indicating even a bigger cap name as well, like a Walmart. I mean, some of these
big consumer staples will do wonderful. Yes.
Bang. A lot of these names continue to go higher. And are we talking about consumer staples and stuff like that because as interest rates come down, hopefully there's more money in hand and the credit card bills seem to be a little more payable? Is that sort of what we're talking about here?
A lot of those names, especially like energy, materials, industrials, these type of names will start to do well along that same thinking, yes.
I was thinking as well, and I tweeted this out yesterday because I know a position that you talked about. We had JC Peretz on the show as well, liking XLE in the energy spot. And I believe you also mentioned Chevron, and then XLP was one of your favorites here. Does anything change today as Powell does come out and is very, very confident about, the path moving forward? A little bit nervous about the job market, but I don't feel like oil or energy has really too much to worry about as we move forward. Anything change with your opinion? I mean, it was just a couple days ago we were talking about XLE.
Yeah, no, literally, I mean, I just took positions yesterday in CVX as well as XOP. So definitely those ones to the long side within energy, especially smaller cap energy names, be looking into some of those. Again, I'm going to do a lot of research this weekend. I typically do the week after every monthly expiration. I tend to do a lot of research to gather information for the next month because that's often where a lot of that information actually comes in. And you might go, well, what is that information? I'm going to be looking for, the tendencies. So if you want to look at my chart real quick,
sure.
Even looking at things like this, like understanding a week after, this is just a Koyfin chart. It's a free service you guys can have. It's literally free. But if you look at since the 16th, which was the monthly expiration, what were the rotations? What were the rotations coming after all that money on that option expiration expired? And it seems a lot of them are pouring into these rate sensitive names. You look at real estate, you look at clean energy, KRE, which we've mentioned, home builders as well. These type of names will probably start to keep doing well, especially those 52-week high names, which home builders and these type of names are breaking into their 52-week highs. So while there is a lot of doom and gloom during September, like, hey, the markets are going to crash, yada, 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 there are some easy money trades to the upside. And I think if you want to be a professional trader and think like one, you have to separate yourself from the crowd, and it's going to be away from shorting and finding those long opportunities there.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. One area that you just mentioned that I have some more questions about here has to do with home builders. Another thing we got today were those very strong home sales for July. So are there any specific names in this area that you like as we have those pretty strong numbers? We know we did get earnings from some of those names.
Typically, the ones I stick with have decent spreads. So DHI, LEN, URI, these type of names are home builder related, and they typically do better. While I don't like to play necessarily the ETF, the ITB, which is just kind of the general play, I try to see which one of the DHI, LEN, or URI is outperforming. Given if you look at that setups, I believe URI has not made a new high, so I'm going to stick with the one that is outperforming, which is LEN and DHI.
Thank you.
We do have a little breakout here, and you tell me what you think about this stock. I recently bought Roblox, and it wasn't that recent. It was at the sort of the beginning of the summer because I just played it simple, man. I have young kids, and I'm thinking like my one guy is just chilling at home all day, sitting on Roblox, playing that, and loving what's going on Roblox. And he tells me, Dad, the graphics are great now. There's this, there's that. And I'm distributing $30 a month into the Robux account as well. But here it is. Come over to my screen just real quick, and I'll give you a chance to look at it yourself. We bought it on this kind of breakdown here, breaking through this sort of garbage. You said, get that out of here at the beginning of the summer. Take that out. Watching out for 34 break. But right now, as I zoom back out, I mean, look at this. Back coming up through $50. I mean, if we get that break, giddy up right there. But my thesis, and this is what I'm going to talk to you about, because I know that you talked about seasonality. I don't want to hold this too much because I feel that as kids go back to school, obviously, some of the turn might come into Roblox as they get less and less daily active users. Is that some of the stuff that you think about? Not necessarily Roblox specifically, but as you talk about seasonality over and over again on our show, do you kind of think about that kind of stuff? Like maybe get into Home Depot come springtime or anything like that? And if so, is there anything you're thinking about now with back to school or anything?
My thinking, while I do mention seasonals a lot on here, my thinking is a little more mechanical. Well, you'd be surprised, Sean, how many adults like yourself and your kids would find a way to be on Roblox during school even.
Right.
But, I don't necessarily think about that. But, I mean, when we talk about Roblox, this is a name that has been heavily beaten down. It's in this massive accumulation phase from, even December. And like I said, 52 weeks high, the Roblox is coming up towards those 52 weeks
right.
high. And I think that this is going to be one of those names that's going to present that opportunity, especially with that recent strength. So if you're someone like Sean and you're a father or even a mother who's getting their weekly allowances drained into Roblox,
right.
Robux to get their favorite skibbity skins that Sean partakes in, then, those type of names, you can trade those. But I think about it more mechanically, like, hey, not necessarily that, springtime is when you get into Home Depot, but more so is it beaten down? Is it actually time for these industrials to start moving? And does that seasonality make sense? Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. For example, you could have a very bad news catalyst during a good seasonal period, and therefore it's no longer really that good to trade. So in this case, no, I would absolutely still be bullish on Roblox. That goes with the thesis, yes.
I can't believe you're going to make me say this, that I only want the Sigma skins, not.
So, this is where we
This is where we get lost. Right now, you mentioned yesterday on the show AMC. To have a quick look
I sure did say that.
Yeah, and we have September 4th. Have you ever thought about, and maybe we asked you this yesterday, but again, we have a new audience right now. What about GameStop? They're reporting September 4th.
Potentially, speculated.
Potentially, Adair is saying potentially reporting. We have the report of September 4th. You like to do anything with this? I mean, it looks like it right now. Talk about barcoding and not doing anything. GameStop has done absolutely nothing. I can't even zoom in enough to make this look any better, but done nothing now for days and days and days. Any thoughts on this? I assume that the options chain isn't looking too exciting right now on GameStop. I just know that there's some people in our audience looking to see about your opinion on GameStop.
So I will say shamelessly that I've already entered GameStop as it is over $5 for 920 calls. Now I'm no roaring kitty here. This is Raider the dog or something. I don't know what my name would be, but meowing dog. How about that?
Okay.
So I'm not the meowing dog, but what I would say is that I believe that, yes, a lot of we've mentioned previously on the last episode that a lot of these garbage stocks, as we call them, some say meme stocks, whatever, they actually start to do pretty well when the markets actually start to slump a little bit. So when you get this kind of phase where you're in between this bearish seasonal and what we're coming from a bull market rally, you actually start to see rotations into these beaten down names, these meme stocks, if you will. These are when you typically see the short squeezes. And if you don't believe me, just go look at the last short squeezes on AMC and GME. They were around a similar time during that rotation from a pullback. So as far as this right here, yeah, I'm actually bullish on AMC. This is one of those trades where you enter with 1/3 of your position size to start with, and you forget about it. You absolutely do not look at the chart until you are either at zero or green. There is no in between. So with that trade, again, being options, I'm going to wait till this thing gets going, and if it doesn't, well, I sold, and I'm not going to add to it. So that's my game plan with AMC.
Yeah, as you said, 9/20, of course, the third Friday there in September. Looking for that, so we'll see if there's any sort of action coming in to that play. All right, we really respect your opinion here, especially on longer-term trends and what you just mentioned there on breakout. So immediately, I thought of something that I don't think you and I have mentioned that much, and maybe it's not something that you look at, but what a run it's been in gold. GLD, I mean, a huge move up right now, really good support. We see some little smiley face action down here, coming back in and now whooping back up. Gold right now looking like it wants to take 52-week high. I mean, we could come in here on Monday and it's through that again. It just keeps on taking these highs. Anything here on any of the precious metals at all? Silver, gold, copper, anything interesting? Are you in a play now? You thinking about anything here related to metals?
Yeah, so actually one of the better names I'm going to be looking at, gold and materials. Of course, materials as a sector, we look at miners, we look at things like NEM, these names coming up to their highs. And I think a lot of the material names will come back into play, a part of that idea. And what we're going to see, especially, I'm actually looking at silver. While I think gold has run majority of its course and will continue to likely be strong, I think there's a better trade idea in silver. So SLV is typically the trader I stick to. Yep. And you can look anything into 920, but those are what I'm going to be seeing. I'm going to expect a silver breakout here within the next 2-3 weeks, and we can catch that. But also the miners, NEM, these type of names in material names, XLB, NUE, these kind of names are going to be what I'm focusing on.
I really like all of that, and here's silver, and I guess that's just a catch-up trade, right? I mean, it's not really.
Yeah, let me pull up silver. I was on some random NEM chart. Right
that's okay. I got it. We can talk about Newmont or whatever you want, but at the end of the day, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, coming up towards those highs. And again, I think with that recent dip, you want to talk about max pain and when it's a good time to enter. Oftentimes when you do see that capitulation, as they say, that is after the best time to enter. So we have the least resistance to the upside. So I'm going to keep playing that.
Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Here we went over a bunch of different sectors, man, and you really showed up here today. So thank you so much for that. We got to cut this day short. It normally ends around 4:30. I got to scream. We got a big Little League game going here today.
Okay, Sean. Okay,
my daughter's last one.
What's your batting average, Sean? Are you stepping into the T-ball?
It's Little League, so I am coaching, but my batting average this year is a perfect 1,000 because I have 0 at-bats and 0.
That makes sense. Okay.
I would think I'd be more, I think I'd be like around the 310 or so, probably 30 stolen bases, something like that, you know.
So you pitch in the 97s to 8-year-olds, right?
Something like that. Yeah, they're really impressed. Okay. I got to impress somebody around here. So have a great weekend. Any plans quickly?
Yeah, so I've been trying to get my car tuned. That's been a headache. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that. So yeah, that's going to be the fun project for the weekend. I might blow up my car and it might come out okay. So we'll see what happens.
Well, be safe and we will check you next time. Thank you so much. Everyone can go find this guy over Raider Trader 101 and on Instagram. Thank you, Andrew. That's Trader Talk.
Bye, Sean.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, without any further ado, man, we could talk about, I mean, basically, the trade that was missed today by me, I didn't even log in. I already know what this trade is. It's going to be NVIDIA. We had this 227 long break, or sorry, 127 long break right there, and we just got shaken out of it. And that's too bad because we just got a little bit sort of off kilter there. We'll end the day pretty flat, but at the end of it all, that move there, we should have had that NVIDIA long. It was the #1 trade idea. We had also TQQs, so we actually were on that a lot, especially near the end of the day. So I feel like pretty strongly right now about NVIDIA's ability just to keep on going, especially into earnings. And then we see what happens on Wednesday, man. This whole trade gets flipped on its head. I promise you that, Adara.
I'm excited.
Let me put it this way. I really feel like on Wednesday, all hell's going to break loose. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see volatility. If NVIDIA warns one bit, this market is going to absolutely crank to that downside. Maybe that's part of why I was thinking short today. I'm super happy. I'm still hella long. I mean, my long-term account, I basically trimmed nothing. I still think NVIDIA, the chances are that they beat. I don't think NVIDIA is going to miss. It's just watch out for some of that warning signs. We've already seen AMD well off its highs. AMD's 157, highs 227. We already talked about that. That's a huge pullback. Yeah. Micron's pulled back a lot. ARM has pulled back a lot. The only name that's really still at these highs, we talked about a little bit of Broadcom. I mean, do we have to talk about Intel? Are they still even a public company? I mean, just joking. That's $20. But their high's $55.
Yeah, that's pretty
$20.
yucky.
So if NVIDIA doesn't have any clothing, then the emperor goes bye-bye.
There's also CrowdStrike on Wednesday, too.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about CrowdStrike. You know, CrowdStrike basically sent this world on its head there a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, and they've battled back okay. All right, thank you so much to everybody. I want to thank Andrew Raider for joining me again here on a Friday. I want to thank Adara for staying in, for coming back and doing this. You didn't really have to do that, but I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that for sure. Thank you to Michael Westrick. He said, dude, you killed it today, Sean. Much appreciated with that one. Stacks as well is here. This is roll call, by the way. Did I hit that button? I think I did. Bongzilla, Streamlabs is here. Bears vs. Bulls, Stacks is here. Ryan Faluna. Wait a minute, is that the Ryan Faluna?
Yes, it is. He was talking about Lily, so yeah, we know it's Ryan Faluna.
Okay, so Ryan Faluna is in the chat right now. Yes, Wednesday is the day. I agree with that one. Maybe we'll have Ryan on and we'll talk about it that day. There's Ryan again. All right, Timon is here. Raider Trader, thank you so much, Raider Trader, for that one. There again, great day for him to come through as well. Michael's here. Retired Shenanigans, Pitchbull, Huang family, Blue Arrow, and Trey only. Look, what a great week it's been. I only had about 3 or 4 heart attacks live on air, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was great. We had a lot of stops get triggered. We had a lot of moves going to our favor as well. So violent week, I feel like, but those are the funnest ones. We're here for volatility and not volatility.
Well, I'm here for volatility and volatility.
You're for both.
Oh my gosh, $100 super chat from Raider Trader saying roll call. Thank you so much, Raider Trader. There,
that means a lot. Thank you,
please, Des Punch, with that. Thank you very much for that support and for being.
We'll have to put some of that money towards a big pineapple pizza.
Yes,
for our friend Neil, like the biggest one we can find. Thank you, Raider Trader. I got to get out of here, man. I still got to write the lineup on our little dry erase board, so I'm going to get out of here right now. It's Hydration Nation. Stay hydrated. Everyone, have yourselves a great weekend. That's Adara. I'm Sean. We'll catch everyone on Monday morning at 8:30. Have a good one. Ciao, everybody.
Yeah.